Welcome to SonarFeed, episode 185. We're back.
Nice work,
Let's
Hugo.
go.
Welcome back,
man,
everybody.
I'm not gonna lie, it was a little bit hard there at the end.
It was loud.
It was loud, man. But you know what?
I had to cover my
Me
ears.
too. Let's go.
We
it's
do.
showtime.
Let's
It
go.
is
We got our
showtime.
friends here. We're
Oh,
all
yeah?
here. It's been 3 weeks, 2 weeks,
2
since
weeks off.
without a
Yep.
show.
Yep.
But 3 weeks since we were all here.
That's right.
So it's like, man,
Yep.
I love
So
to
welcome
be
back, everybody. Hello,
yeah.
everybody.
Welcome back, folks.
We
Let's
are
go.
here for episode 185 of SonarFeed.
Unbelievable.
Which is unbelievable.
185.
185.
185.
So we are going to talk some soccer tonight.
Yeah.
Some football.
Let's go.
Probably a little bit.
A little
Mr.
fantasy.
Seahawk.
Both
Seahawk
yeah, man.
jersey over there.
Let's go.
Richard Sherman.
Let's
Talk a little
go.
bit about protesting. I was thinking about I was going to kneel during your intro, but I forgot until just now. I messed that up.
I wish you would have done it, man.
I
That
totally
was
messed
so
that up. I
epic.
had the thought this morning, and then I've been fighting this stupid cold.
Shit, like-
So we've been off for 2 weeks, and I've been sick for like 10 of those 2 weeks, 10 days of those 14
dude.
days. So
Yeah, you
I'm a
showed
little
up,
low
You
energy.
showed up this weekend, and I was like,
Yeah.
holy cow.
Yep. That was
The
good. That was
beard.
good. That was good.
Speaking of which, man, looking sharp,
Thank you.
man.
Thank you.
You've got some
Looking
salt
sharp.
in your pepper.
I have a lot of salt there.
Yeah.
Really good. Really good. The mountains are really good. Catch any bears? I caught a lot of bears. I catched a lot of bears. I caught a lot of bears.
Like so many.
Yeah.
That grammar has just disappeared.
It did. Billy did. So this is episode 185 of SonarFeed. My name's Aaron Riley, a.k.a. Sonar Riley. Across from me is...
Hugo, a.k.a. Maybe the Seattle. To my left, you're right.
Tom Biro, a.k.a. Bougie Hooli.
And former special guest, now regular awesomeness guest.
Yeah.
Dave Clark at Better Than.
Also the creator, co-founder, awesomeness,
Sounder
founder of
Heart.
Sounder Heart. Yep. .com.
What about Sounders at Heart?
Sounders at Heart. No.
Oh, wait.
there was a very...
Let's go get that name. We're going to steal that name.
Let's do it.
I probably could have claimed that long ago. I think at one point it redirected to Sounder at Heart.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
You know what?
Okay.
It'll be like whitehouse.com, right?
Right?
Totally should do that.
Seriously. Get on
Like all
that.
soccer porn.
Why not?
If you want the origin story of Sounder at Heart, you can go to 710 ESPN, where I was featured on their podcast that just started.
When?
Spencer, who writes
Spencer,
for both
Yeah.
710 ESPN and Sounder at Heart, launched a podcast last week.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And the
Totally missed that.
first episode, Dave Clark.
Nice.
I'm
The
wild.
The subject is Dave Clark, Sounder at Heart, and my two favorite stories, past and present, for the team.
Man. Mike Facito.
My two stories are Mike Facito and Mike Facito.
Actually, Steve Zakwani.
Okay.
Ah.
The 11
The,
we held up.
journey-
comeback.
Actually, just kind of that journey.
Okay.
From him, as he was
Yep.
the first player I ever interviewed for the site.
Oh, nice.
And then going on to like hosting his charity and those kinds of things, and his growth from being a player to being somebody who is a clear member of the community now. So that, and then the other was the current was Brian Schmetzer, because
Nice.
I love him.
Yeah. Love Brian, man. Yeah, let's go. I need it. I try to not.
So there. That's the quick version, and it's about 38 minutes, and you can listen to it over on their website.
Nice. Thank you. I actually didn't know that
Excellent.
came out. I've been
Wildly remiss in responding to Spencer on
issues.
He's setting up
guest.
a lot of people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially on like a major sports,
Yeah.
radio station. Whatever.
Trying to some of what he's doing there is basically trying to get the casual sports fan in the area to think, you know what, soccer isn't all that different, because that's step one.
Yeah.
Step one is get your ass to our game.
Yeah. It is a struggle, though,
Yeah.
man. I tailgate with a lot of those and there's still people in my tailgate crew
Oh, yeah.
that I've been tailgating for 14 years with that, I cannot convince them, man. And
Yeah.
I'm a hell of a salesman.
Yeah, you are.
So it's no joke. The casual American football sports fans is
I mean, I know a lot of the hosts in the area, because back when I worked in sports radio in the area, there was only one local station. Now there's 2.5. At one point there was 3, but it was more like 2 plus 2 halves. And there are some that I'll never be able to get there, but Dick Fain, Shannon Dreher, have both been
Yep.
with me, and Matt Pittman has gone at various times. A couple of the other guys have gone, but there are some like a Bob Stelton, who I adore, love, and he's like, nah, I'm good, Dave. I'm like, I'm talking free. I'm talking partying. I know how to target how you are a sports fan, and you can enjoy soccer that way. And it's the difference between the people like Mike Gastineau and the people like Mitch Levy.
You're absolutely right, man. That's
Yeah.
about it. That's exactly. I mean, it's not like my friends aren't open-minded. They just a different personality, and they just know they don't want to even give it a shot.
No, I mean, a decade ago, I would have been like, yeah, whatever, soccer, who cares? I don't care. We've had this discussion a lot, but that wasn't my focus, and I'm glad I went over. And it's hard to get some people to go over, and they're going to see not a great game, and they're not going to like it.
I mean, it only took like 2 or 3 bocce ball leagues to go out of business for you to
Right.
get into
I know.
soccer. So
Totally was. I was
great.
really excited about that too,
Yeah.
and Major League Lacrosse too. I was really excited about that.
How's that going?
Really well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got a franchise in Renton.
Nice.
Not really.
How you doing, Tom? How
Pretty
you been
well.
the last 2-3 weeks? I know you went on a couple
Good.
trips,
Went
maybe,
on,
or
one trip.
one trip.
One long,
Yeah, went
one
to-
long journey.
long.
Went to
journey.
Honduras again.
For a
First
wedding?
for this time. But yeah, went to Honduras. It was beautiful, as always, and got a lot of sun, drank a lot of rum.
Nice.
Did you wear pants?
I wore pants. Kyle, as usual, did not wear pants
Nice.
multiple times.
Did anybody get hit by a passing boat or
No
ship?
one got hit by a boat this time. He
Nice.
also didn't get yelled at for paddleboarding naked in a channel, so that was good.
Oh, but
Um,
was he in the water getting yelled at though at all?
Oh
or
yeah,
No?
he was on a paddleboard in the boat channel.
Last
That
time
was a
though.
year ago.
Yeah, that was a year
No.
ago.
Well,
Or
but
2
he was
years
out
ago.
there again, but
This-
no one yelled at
but
him.
no
this
one
time.
yelled at him. That's
Yeah.
the difference.
Oh, he did it again.
The difference wasn't that he did
But
it.
he
hold
was
on.
in trouble this time.
Was he
Yeah.
naked?
Both times? Yeah.
Yeah.
Duh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many sloths?
It's like Mexico. It's like Cancun.
I didn't
or
go
not
to sloths,
Cancun.
but some
Puerto
people did, and they
Vallarta.
said it was
A little
fantastic.
different.
So sloths are popular. The boat trip, the all-day boat trip, is it's like more expensive than like the entire week per person to stay at the house
Wow.
for one day, but it's all included. Like it's a full day. It's
Okay.
get on a boat at 9, you come back at 5:30, and that was me actually, and that was a different discussion. But that was pretty awesome, and
There's a pretty
I
major
did-
life event while you were there.
They did have a pretty major life event, yeah. So they got engaged. So the joke is someone has to get engaged every time somewhere so everyone else can get another vacation.
Yep.
So
And that happened.
Oh,
right?
this is right.
They did
'cause
get engaged, yeah.
The TNT CCL trip were the Hodos engagement.
Oh wow, yeah.
Oh my God, that was.
The Honduras CCL trip.
Sean and Danielle,
Sean and Danielle.
yeah,
A year later, they got married in Honduras,
yeah.
and now
Dylan Brandy got engaged.
Dylan- yep, that's
and they're
right,
getting
Dylan
married
Brandy.
next year. Location
To be determined?
Should be well.
Depends
They
on
know
how
what
many
it is.
kids-
I think-
they do.
Oh,
Okay,
okay.
yeah.
Brandy's been.
But-
Brandy has a target already.
Okay.
Yes, she has a location.
I don't know if they have a commitment to the location, but she's definitely.
too.
Ooh.
Because if you can go Wednesdays or Saturdays, there's direct flights from Miami.
Okay.
Which is great.
Yeah.
I think Atlanta maybe too. But you can fly here to Miami and then Miami to there.
Oh, nice.
But if you don't fly on those flights, or you miss them, or they get really expensive, it's a problem. And then coming back was bad because it was PAX that week. So all those
Yeah.
days were super, super expensive.
Okay.
But no, Honduras is amazing. It's kind of strange. It's you're in a place where you're on an island that wasn't a Spanish-speaking island originally. In fact, I think they speak English.
Really?
And
I learned
depending on
something
where you
new.
are on the island, people either speak no English at all,
Or only English.
or they speak English or primary in English. Like I go to places on vacation and I want to talk in Spanish and read a Spanish menu and this and that, and they're like, no, that's our menu. It's in English because my first language is English, and I've lived here for 35 years.
Wow.
and it's kind of surprising, but it's
Honduras?
in this island, Roatan.
Roatan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no, it's beautiful. I highly recommend it.
Wasn't
Nice.
Honduras for a little bit called British Honduras?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Do not
Can't
know that
say.
one.
That would make sense.
If anybody
know
knows,
that,
let us
on
know.
a show where you have a producer, they actually look that stuff up,
Maybe.
and then they come back like
got
10
Pokemon
minutes
going
later.
on.
and then they can find out for us.
He can fact check. I know I have friends that have preferred
Text it in to the SonarFeed text line.
Belize and the Virgin Islands and some of the other smaller Caribbean islands, because those places, they give you the same Caribbean feel and whatnot.
Yeah.
But you don't have to You don't have to learn
Right.
Spanish
Right.
because Belize is pure English.
Well, a lot of
speaking.
them too. I mean,
A lot of the tiny islands, but you can leave the resorts because obviously,
and that's the thing.
any
So like we
resort
lived at a
town-
house, and the gentleman, the family that kept the caretakers that kept that house, and then the next house we had. The house we had last year, a house next door, another house like 4 doors down, and then a number of people
larger
stayed in
group
the
for
resorts.
a wedding than there was for a
a
CCL
pretty big
game.
group, obviously. And most of them speak fluent Spanish. You know, and it was some people. It's funny. I think they're used to just people who don't speak any Spanish. So then when you do speak Spanish to
The
them, they're all like,
producer found
"Yes."
the
Producer found something here.
Oh, what did we learn?
Let's see.
producer says
Spanish Honduras. To
Spanish
differentiate.
Honduras.
British Honduras was in Belize, modern day Belize.
Which is just around the way, not
Yep.
too far.
there we go.
gotta-
There you go. We're
So,
giving you a
little bit of
geography lesson
Guatemala.
here as well.
Yeah, seriously.
Belize, one of 2 of the Central American nations that
But this is
doesn't
what's
border
cool
both
about
oceans.
going on like
I like that.
CCL.
Good job. Way to produce it, Mark. Thank you.
matches, man. You get to like
That's why we want to
experience
go
the
back
world.
because I have.
And
Yeah.
I would say, I mean, just again, the last thing I'll say on this topic is highly recommend it. Even just from not even an ECS thing, just you want to hang out with people who love soccer and like just do stuff you don't normally do with them. Like you're used to going
Like
to the
live
same
life.
4 bars, going to a game, being in a section, going to LA away, whatever it is. This is like you're hanging out on a Tuesday on a dock. Watching fish swim
Yeah.
by, like it's a cool way to meet
Yeah.
people and make some new friends. So anyway,
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
awesome.
Go away
we were
trips.
really close to doing that TNT trip, and then just didn't force ourselves financially. And I know most of that group turned it in basically a 5-day,
Yeah.
or
Yeah, vacation.
5-night, 6-day type of thing, and it would have been great.
yeah.
That's one of my rare like Sounders themed regrets.
Well, and
When you-
flying out of Seattle's
How about the
Got
piano,
easy,
the
so-
U.S. Open Cup away?
Yeah.
Is that a regret? Not
Kazar?
going to that.
Yeah.
what?
I did.
He was
didn't
asking
join-
about Sounder regret.
I didn't join them on the Battle of Kazar trip.
The show that the away trip that started
Started
SonarFeed.
this.
Yep.
Yeah. So maybe it was
You
not
missed
meant
out?
to be.
Yeah, we can go into the reasons I said no offline.
Yeah.
When you talk
'Cause
about
he didn't like me back then.
when you talk about trouble traveling,
No
remember?
beard.
Did you hear what happened
Or
with
no.
the U.S.
Uh-uh.
Trying to fly into St. Vincent and the Grenadines
No.
as well as to fly out?
No.
So to fly in, they had to take 3 separate planes because that's how small the airport is. One for most of the team, most of the players, and like a coach or 2. One for the rest of the players and the rest of the staff, and then the third was for a few of the media, like the media that was traveling and the rest of the U.S. soccer staff. So they had 3 planes. The third one, I guess, had an issue, so it never took off. And so the plane that dropped off all the players had to immediately turn
Go
around
back?
and pick them up.
Wow.
'Cause, St. Vince is not big.
No.
So flying into and out of it was all basically
Vinci.
charter. And then they had trouble going through customs because a place of 90,000 people just doesn't have. They have 1 customs agent.
Yeah.
That's it. That's how big they are.
That's awesome. I love it.
And they
Steve.
also had trouble.
Steve. and when Steve off, it's Fred.
Yeah.
Nice.
Um,
But he
They
only
fly
works
him
half
in.
time.
Yeah. And then the other, they had trouble leaving as well.
Oh.
And every time there was trouble, it's like, who's the lowest people on the totem pole? So, it's
Yeah.
basically the media and the USS
So who
soccer
do you
staffers.
think, on the people that traveled to this trip, who do you think is the biggest national team diva at the airport?
Oh, he made it public. Because
I didn't see.
he
I
posted
remember
a
seeing
vine
something
of
that he's, like, still
himself
here.
being kept for 90 minutes by the only customs person.
Who is it?
It was Mr. Rant Grawl. Just in case he name searches
And it
podcasts
made
he
the
doesn't
paper.
listen to.
It made the paper or something
Yeah.
somewhere.
And like the minister of tourism is like, yeah, not really any. I mean, we'll look into it, but there's not much we can do.
Whatever.
I mean, at most they could
Hey.
they could have had at most
Well,
they
yeah,
could have
no,
brought
I'm
somebody
good.
in for overtime
Good
and
with
had
that.
2
Yeah.
people working at the same
That
time.
is hilarious.
That would have been nuts.
I love it.
Alex says that it was lawless.
Lalas.
But all right. So what else
Anyway.
is going on? You had a wedding trip. You had fun.
Yep.
Mark went and spent $145 on one margarita. and
I
$95
think he had
on
like
Corona.
$2,000 on 4 Coronas.
Yeah,
What was
roughly,
that?
give or take. It was like his whole. And then charged it to Brendan's room. So basically, you paid more for those drinks than you did for the trip, basically. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Nice.
Good job.
Yeah. And
What
how
about you?
What do you? I've been sick. I've been growing a beard, being sick, and
Looks good, man. Looks good.
I took a Twitter
Brendan's
break
here.
for like 2 weeks. So I took a 2-week Twitter break. I've been growing a beard. I've been sick, and
You drive for 75 mobile apps.
driving for as many mobile apps as I possibly can. I have driven.
Which one's the best for a driver?
For a driver, Lyft overall is best because I actually can get tips from people,
Nice.
and I can earn my commission back.
Let's go.
So like this week, I only paid $5% in commission,
Oh,
which was
nice.
really nice. So,
But it doesn't have a round swirly logo.
No, it doesn't. The logo's not
Yeah.
as pretty,
And it doesn't say
No.
Uber.
but it doesn't say Uber. But I've driven. Hold on, I was just gonna look at that because I had it here. Like 778 rides now. I've given.
Wow.
That's pretty serious.
778
Get some.
total rides. I
Get
gave
some.
98 last week or 90 last week. So. I didn't say how many. So if you want to know how many mustache rides I've given, about 350. There's an app for that.
Nice.
Wow.
What about you, Dave?
Because Lyft has the mustache.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, I thought we didn't. We no.
Did we? Did we?
I
can't
was
remember.
on that podcast. I talked
Yeah.
about that.
That's
and-
right, man. For me,
So.
man, I just been getting ready
Let's just
for
start
Seahawks,
asking random other people.
Seahawks season, and then
What'd you guys
finish
do
the
this
regular
weekend?
season announcing with S2 since their home regular season ended. That was.
And if they make the playoffs, they will not be hosting a
No,
home
they
game.
won't. No, they won't. They won't be a home game. So it's crazy. 2 years doing that, man. It hit me.
Yeah.
Like, wow, damn, that's nuts. 2 seasons doing it. A lot of fun. Then getting ready for Seahawks because I do Seahawks too. So just doing that. Walking a lot. I've been walking a
tailgated with
ton,
that
man.
bastard, man.
Yeah.
I walked 35,000 steps this weekend.
Nice.
If you look
Yeah.
at Ugo's
Let's go.
Snapchat, you would know.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's all
Yeah.
I'm supposed.
It's like
Yeah.
walking,
And
lunch,
Yeah.
more walking,
Yeah.
Tacos.
Yeah.
tacos,
Yep.
more,
More
walking.
walking.
Yes.
Yeah.
Good job, dude.
Thanks,
That's
man.
awesome.
Yeah.
We went to.
Did we? Oh, you weren't here for the last time that I was on, so
No.
we didn't even talk about Hugo run Sounder at Heart for a day.
That's right.
That's right, which was
That was
a
a month ago.
huge success, at least in my mind.
Traffic was only down like 40-50%. So
No, we
No,
did
but-
great. It was the first time Sounder at Heart had native Spanish writing on the site.
That's dope.
Yep.
Hugo wrote.
History. Let's go.
And next time you're gonna get a real writer.
Yeah.
No, it was
Seriously,
great.
I can find
No,
one.
I'm
great.
kidding.
I can
He
look for
called
one.
me or whatever the next day, and he's like, I feel bad. I don't think I did good enough. I'm like, dude, it was fucking epic. It was great.
People loved it, man.
Yeah.
it was good.
I'm my biggest critic, man. And
Aren't we all?
And writing, like I told you guys before, writing was one of the goals. That's why I did the whole taco block to improve on my writing. But I was still too scared to look at comments, and I didn't look at
The
comments.
comments were
you shouldn't write while you're all borracho.
very
I
positive.
know, right?
Right? Watch out.
You know, I remember
I know.
taking Hugo to practice and seeing Ozzy's face when Ozzy at first was like, "Yeah, I got one of the guys from Sounder at Heart." He's like, "Okay, English," and they're like, "No, Spanish today." And Ozzy
Yeah.
was like, huge smile because he's
Yeah.
never talked to us in Spanish before, and
Yeah.
you know,
That's great.
Yeah, I love it.
I had to convince Hugo to, to keep it down to 2 to 3 minutes rather than
20 to 30 hours.
Well, it
2
was like one of
hours.
those like super hot days. It's still
Well,
yeah.
super hot.
Well, it's not only that. I mean, it's just the difference of talking to somebody right after practice versus you've talked to plenty of players here,
Yeah,
but
exactly.
those
It's more
last
casual.
70 minutes to 2 hours. you
Yeah,
know,
with drinks.
Yeah, it-
relax, having food. Whereas there, it's more, yeah.
you had a good interview with Flacco and an interview with Ozzy,
Yeah, man.
and then we did a little story looking at the history of the Latino influence on the team. Worked out
it was
well.
awesome, man. We should do it again.
It's going to be bid again. The
For
upcoming
Yep.
Yeah,
Which actually is
FIFA
time to start
17
to.
tournament?
We gotta get on that. We gotta get on that.
Yes, we do.
I was thinking
And
about that during our break.
I got repeated intel that group from down south is going to make a big
There
push
are Portland fans that are
to make sure they win that this year, man.
They're gonna have
Like,
four
they're gonna
figures
have- yeah.
ready and available.
Damn.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah. Yeah. So
Whoa.
it'll be fun.
I guess I shouldn't be buying any more keeper kits.
Probably not.
But one of the things, they're gonna come to practice, and I'd make certain to arrange who they'd talk to, and it'd be fun to give them,
Roger.
like if I knew who they were going to talk to if they won this, it would have been Zach and Schmetzer. And I'd be like, hey, so these are the Portland fans that won the right to run Sounder at Heart. What do you think about that? That would have been the first question.
Oh my God, that's awesome.
So, we will troll them because I know they will troll us.
Oh, yeah.
And it'll be great because it's worked well. If Arsenal and Tottenham can have a great experience, which they've done on SB Nation in the past as a fundraiser, I think we can do fine with Portland fans running the site for a day. We're not going to be destructive. They will be
They're
playful.
not going to win it.
Yeah.
They're not going to win it.
Well, you know what? It's a great experience. We got Hugo went to practice for a day.
That was pretty dope.
Watched the training.
Yeah.
Talked to two
Got
of
to
the
see
players.
Roman before everybody got to see Roman.
That's excellent.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
God, he looks
So
good.
yeah,
I
we
love
talked
that
to two of the
guy.
players
Me too.
and wrote a couple of stories. Planted a couple seeds for ideas for us.
Yeah.
So it's great. One of the good things though is
Ooh,
that I loved
fancy.
was we wouldn't have written that story about the Latino influence without Hugo's influence.
Yep.
That's great.
Like if he hadn't have asked for it,
Thank
I
you.
wouldn't have thought.
Long-term SEO value.
Yes.
Way to go.
Yes.
Let's go, man. Love it.
I love it.
Love it.
So let's
Hey,
talk about
the
this.
fire
we
pit's
talk about
on,
the
so
fire pit's on.
now-
Now we should get romantical.
Oh, yes.
To squeeze in. Don't touch yourself.
Did you hear though? It's only like
Getting romantic.
2 million more times to play Nelly's "Hot in Here" or something.
I
for
saw
him
that
to
for
pay
his
off the
tax
IRS.
bill.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It was
Get on
like 200 million.
I
Do
played it
something
at the
dumb.
tailgate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I played it at the tailgate.
Trying to help
Hey,
him
you're
out.
helping him out.
Yeah, that's right.
199,999,999
Anyway,
more times.
I'm sorry,
So
you were talking.
You wanted to talk a little bit about the
I was.
Sounders.
Let's talk about the
'cause
Sounders because we
in
haven't
the
talked
past
about
3 weeks
that.
they've done,
Yeah, everybody's like,
not as great.
what the hell?
It's been an interesting we kind of left on a high, so maybe it's our fault. Actually, no, we left on a low. No, because we hadn't
We've
played
gone
Portland
through
yet.
all kinds of roller coasters.
It was
for the
we were in
last
good
one,
We were
shape.
still on a high though when last
Yeah.
time we played.
Yeah, because they were 4-1-1.
Yeah.
That
And
was
then we
before
lost.
the away trip that I went to Portland.
You went to Portland.
Yeah.
You're the reason we lost.
So we're back on the. You're back on the.
Started a
over.
streak again.
Yeah.
Started a streak again.
So you're going to Vancouver?
Actually,
Yeah, you need to go to
technically
Vancouver now.
1 and 2.
Mexico was the
1
streak
and 10,
starter.
1 and 2. They wait 1 and 2.
1 and 2.
Oh, we're
3
1 and
games.
2.
since- Well, there was the Portland game,
We lost that, right?
We did draw
a draw.
this weekend.
Houston draw.
Draw in Houston.
Jesus. Yeah. Okay. Oh, 1 and 2. Yeah.
Sounds a lot worse than you thought, didn't it?
It
Doesn't
does.
Yeah.
It really does. In my head, it sounded way better. Now
Yeah.
it does not sound so
Just
good.
No,
pretend.
not at all.
Go back to that.
Because that Houston was a midweek,
And that's
Yeah, why?
because we
That's
don't
right.
have Dempsey.
basically.
That's it.
I mean, the simplest reason
Dude,
is
I used to think
that wouldn't have
Have
helped
we
in
heard
Portland.
anything? Have we heard anything about Dempsey? Because
nothing.
I've been offline,
man.
like I said,
And
mostly.
no news is worse than anything because you
I
know
agree.
it's serious. Like,
yeah, they've not been providing update. Basically, the daily Dempsey update is I have no update.
yeah, and that's
Um,
not good.
And again, maybe everything's fine, so not to like raise the fire alarm.
No,
but just based on, I mean, we all pay attention to a lot of sports.
Yeah.
Even
Yeah.
if all we pay attention to is soccer, to me it seems weird that there's not even a. He's being sent for more tests,
Right.
or
We'll know
we
in
still
2
have
weeks.
questions, and all it does is frankly start rumor.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like he's some random guy.
Right.
It's like Clint Dempsey.
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know?
Right.
The
Well,
face
I
of
was
soccer in
honestly, I was
America.
shocked at how much they released. Obviously, with all the HIPAA rules and everything else, that was kind of. I mean, they could have
That
just said
might
nothing.
have something to do with why we're not
Could
getting
be.
updates.
Yeah. Exactly. Right.
There are some teams have taken a much more restrictive once HIPAA came out. They weren't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So okay.
So
we don't
what
know.
would life look without Dempsey? I mean, I'm just talking about it, man.
Short term,
Yeah.
short term? It sucks for the rest of the year, right?
the offense goes back to what it was like before Ladero showed up. You know, because you have one great player and he can get double marked out, and so you're forced to hit a long ball to Jordan. He scores once in a while.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's what we
'Cause
saw
the
on
team-
Sunday, though. Saturday.
Yeah, that
Has-
is it.
No depth in the attack beyond those two people.
Yeah.
The defense
Oh, man.
is
Should've
good, but
asked. I
eventually gets
regret
worn
asking.
down. You know, that's what
Well,
happened
And the Evans
late
thing
in the
didn't help.
Siggy era.
No.
No, not at all.
Yeah, that was the other thing is that no Clint, and then you have no
No Brad.
Brad, which reduces. I mean, he can play anywhere, so that reduces that flexibility.
Right.
And then he knows that Jovan Jones isn't going to
Isn't
be
gonna
able
go
to
the
go
whole
for a
game.
90 because
Right.
he had put in like 4 games in a week and a half.
So that's why he didn't start Fisher over Mears.
That was part of it, and then Christian Roldan was going through the final motions to decide if he was going to be able to play or not. Right up until the last
Wait,
minute.
Roldan was?
During the pregame warm-ups, they had him out for kind of a final test.
Oh,
Matt
geez.
Pence had tweeted
I
that
missed
out.
that.
So, maybe some of why was Roldan the right mid, and that's probably because they're like, well, since we're not confident, let's do Eric and Ozzy together, and then that means we only have to worry about one major change in how everything flows.
Right.
And so that becomes who will plug in who's healthy at right mid. Whereas if they think they plug that person in at right mid, maybe it's Eric. Eric then has to shift to center mid, and then they start. So the cascading effect of like minor stuff. The good news is the only thing we don't know right now is Clint. But for Vancouver on Saturday,
Everybody
Brad's
Looks
back.
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Roldan's going to be back. Jovan's going to be back.
Roman looked great.
Kovar may even be ready to be on the bench.
Wow, I remember.
nice.
Wow.
So-
yeah, I know he's been working hard trying to get back. So
yeah, we saw that.
we saw that.
Roman came back, obviously, in his
Right.
first start. He played, a half? And then he went to
Portland.
Panama.
Yep.
for the
He'd played
internationals.
he'd played a half
And a full in Panama.
and then one full for Panama, and then was rested in their second game,
yep.
and then got his first Sounders start.
Yep. Overall,
Basically a year after on the
Like
same
day-
day.
on the
on
weekend
the same
pitch.
day. Yeah.
same pitch. And that pitch looked like shit. On the TV, it was
Grass is
terrible.
always better.
Always better. I tweeted that, I
Yeah.
believe. As Alex,
Alex.
Alex, whatever. Hi, Alex.
How are you, John?
As he
man.
said earlier, I was very salty Saturday night, and it was true. I was very salty after the game, or during the game. Or maybe it was after the game.
John,
I was probably
man.
salty the whole day. I don't know.
You're right.
But, yeah, I thought that pitch was terrible. But Roman looked good. I really, really
did.
enjoyed Roman. I mean,
I have to say,
enjoyed him a lot.
The goal, like Ladero's like, oh, I'm just going to put this up for anyone to touch it,
Yeah.
and it bounced
nobody.
and then went in.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you
I mean,
know,
I'll
About
take
that
it.
is no one, it's perfectly placed, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It was fantastic.
It was beautiful. It was
If
funny
one
too.
of the cutting runners had connected, they're sending it far post,
right.
and if they don't,
It was, man. And
or
that-
they're sending it to Ladero's near post.
I was
Yeah.
telling people on the Spanish radio show that day in the morning. I was like, I think Jordan Morris is gonna have to step up. He has to. It's time to step up and kind of carry the team a little bit. And he literally stepped up and just missed the ball, and we still scored.
Yeah.
So he
Yeah.
stepped up.
Yep.
And we still got the goal.
Yep.
So it was beautiful.
I don't-
Lucky, but beautiful, and I'll take it.
He
Yeah.
looks like a monster.
Yeah,
Just
dude.
like statistics-wise. Wow.
Yeah.
Dude,
Let
that's
alone if you've watched him play.
Yeah.
But like if you're in another city and you're looking at his stats, you're like, oh,
Who this?
I don't want to play that guy, Ladero.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Just
It's only 3
insane.
goals and 6 assists in 7 games.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty terrible.
Dude, and just when you see him, man, he only had like one touch that I was like, oh, but aside from that, the dude is just amazing.
He's good.
Yeah,
he
he's
changes
good.
it all. He changes
He
it all.
does, man.
Yeah.
I know we were joking earlier that you weren't thrilled having Flacco come on. You're not a big Flacco fan. You're
there's nothing
indifferent.
wrong with him.
No,
I'm
no,
just-
you're just indifferent.
I'm like, meh.
Yeah, I thought he came on and the whole thing changed. It felt like the game changed. Maybe it was just already happening, but when he came on, it felt just different. Things.
Yeah, I
felt
mean, I guess
better.
what I'd say to that is that happens literally every time Valdez comes on the field.
Sure.
You're like, oh my God, where was
Or
this
her-
offense?
Yeah, exactly.
No, but I
And,
think,
and it's nothing against him.
Yeah.
It just, I don't know if it's, wow, that's what we needed to do. I
No,
mean,
I
it's
think-
fine. It is
yeah.
what it is.
it's more like it was kind of like meh. So meh. Before that, anything different was like, oh, noticeably changed a little bit.
No,
improved.
I mean, the change was functional. 2 of their best chances,
Yeah.
one of their best chances came because he was on the field. They can do things
Yeah.
differently in set pieces with him around.
Yeah.
They do some interesting things with lofted cross. I mean, Tyrone Mears when Flacco's on, because they have those touch and Flacco then curls to the far post, which if Mears was better at crossing would be more effective.
He
but
had one good cross. I mean,
The-
he had one really, really good
At
cross.
the end of the day, if that's part of the reason you have Ladero right now, bring it on.
right.
But
Which
at the same point,
probably did.
Flacco's
Put
not
it.
making money really.
No,
No.
And
it's fine. I'm
Like
my
even
point
if it
was, I'm
didn't
like,
get
guys,
you Ladero, it was still a good move because it doesn't prevent any better moves.
Yes.
I mean,
So
he's on the roster,
It
so
does.
guess who's not
It
in the
does.
18 right now? Michael Farfan and Nathan Sturgis.
And he's
So,
making Marfan's making a lot of money for
well,
not being on
100.
the 18.
That's even in
just
MLS,
saying.
that's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's more than
Is he-
Zach Scott.
is he better than those two guys? Yeah.
Yeah.
So he belongs on the roster.
No, I agree. It's fine.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
No, I
I'm
didn't
just
mean, I'm
kind
not
of
trying to throw you under the bus or anything. I'm just saying we talked about it. You were kind of like it wasn't a good or a bad. It was just kind of a
It
Yeah.
just
It
to
doesn't
me it
excite
just
you.
feels like we're kind of in this. Let's go after players we've had before thing.
Can we get
Only
Freddie?
when they're good.
2 years, but I don't think that's like. Is it? There are.
I'm okay
how
with it if we get
many
Oba back,
players? Most people would.
How about
I
Freddie?
guess
How
my
about
point
Freddie?
is,
If
it just
Freddie came
feels
back.
I'll
like
take Freddie back.
it just
Lundberg
when you
or
keep
Montero?
doing it,
No.
it just kind of feels like
Well,
you're
that's
not
the-
going outside of your comfort zone.
Look, It's basically been one guy a year for like the past 4
Yeah.
years. Well, plus Nagel, who will probably wind up back here in 2 years anyway, because that's Lamar's life
Let's
now.
go, Lamar.
He looked good
So they
yesterday,
brought-
by the way.
They brought back Cam Weaver on a minimum deal.
Yep.
Was
wasn't
good. Was
effective.
good for Open Cup.
That's right.
Brought back Marcus Hanneman. That worked out rather well.
Yes.
Freeberg.
Brought back Freeberg. He's been hit and miss.
I was
I
going to say
agree with
he's
that.
been. I was super excited
I
about it,
agree
but
with
he's
that.
been
There are
hit or
times
miss.
you're like, whoa.
He's a great long
Yeah.
ball passer.
Yeah.
And is adequate in the other facets of the game.
Yep.
They've brought back.
Adequate is the perfect way to describe him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not a game changer.
No.
I guess
Brought
that's
back
how I would say I
Alvaro.
feel like about
About
Flacco.
Flacco, man.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Yeah, but
It's fine. There's
yeah.
nothing wrong with it.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just am.
I mean, it's
Not
not
I
this
would've liked to
huge
see him
habit.
hurt.
And then Nagel and Zakuani. That's who they brought back. And Nagel worked out extraordinarily well.
Right.
The worst one so far has been Nathan Sturgis, but it's a minimum contract for basically the last guy on your roster.
Right.
And it made sense functionally at the time because they needed central midfield depth. They didn't have any.
Yeah.
He fit. He knew the system. It didn't work out. That doesn't mean it was a bad move, particularly when you're talking the price point that he's at.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm just doing the like roster baiting thing.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
But
it's
if
fine.
you look around now, who are, let's say they don't have Clint next year. Freddie Montero is that guy. It's probably a good move.
If they bring him back, yeah,
Probably.
I'd be okay with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ladero and
who
or
else?
Freddie.
Oh, fuck.
You know,
Okay.
they bring Lamar back and add an attack to the wing, and so they actually, and he's back to being like the third or fourth scorer on a team. He's a great fit there. He's played very well in DC.
Let's not
Go to
do
hell.
that.
Thank
Yeah.
God he missed that last
That
shot.
was
Chad
wonderful.
Bear.
That
Thank
would've-
God.
Yeah.
Oh,
You know, there are talents that would make sense to.
My point with that
bring
is for every Lamar Nagel, I'm just going to use him as an example. Aren't there 5 other players in the world that this club could find?
Sure, but you've got.
Yeah.
I mean, there are lots of factors when you're bringing in a player. It's not just the talent on the field; it's how they'll mesh with the other players on
But
the field.
you're going to turn the team over pretty significantly from 2 seasons ago.
Yeah, but
I mean,
There's a
unless
chance
he's
they
like
have
a
the same
coup
coach.
for Brian Schmetzer, and like he somehow works really well for him, then bring it on.
Yeah.
But anyway, whatever. We could talk about
price
that all day.
points,
this is a good
attitude.
chat though, man. I like it.
Yeah.
That's
Speaking
a lot of off-season stuff is going to be focused on,
Yeah,
that's-
on,
oh,
on
man,
that
it's
because
scary, man. Especially
we've
life
talked
after
about
Dempsey,
it
man,
like a month and a half ago. There could be as few as like 13 players back.
Oh
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
God.
You know,
Yeah.
it could be a
This could be the biggest
very
change.
And
very
like
high
pretty
turnover.
significant players that everyone knows and loves.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it kind of happened in 2013.
Yeah.
When it fell apart and we lost a captain in Mauro Rosales and
Yep.
a long list of players
God.
as well. It might be an off season like that, particularly if they don't go in the direction of a Brian Schmetzer, because then you bring in a new coach and he's going to want to
He's
overhaul
all
as
in
well.
everything, man.
So
That's when I wanna
it could
Pete
get
Carroll it.
right.
it could be something like we haven't seen.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
I think it's very different when somebody like Mauro
I wasn't
leaves
ready to think
and
about all
you're like,
this.
okay, you know what? They're improving the team.
Yeah.
They did XYZ. He did all right. It's not like he went and blew the doors off the rest of the league somewhere else on
No.
multiple teams.
Yeah.
But you have somebody like I've heard a lot of speculation. I mean, we've talked about like Brad Evans. Like, is he here next year? What you don't want is a guy like that to leave. He's been kind of pissy at times because of positions and
Yep.
whatnot, and for him to show up somewhere Like a rival is going to
Oh,
go grab that
fuck.
guy,
Yeah.
and then God forbid somebody like that beats us in the playoffs or makes a cup or something like that. Like that's when it's brutal. You
Oh,
know, and
yeah.
that's where I think we're at this point now where the club's been around long enough that people have their players they like love and adore, and they've been here a really long time. That like we haven't had. Like 5 years ago, we didn't really have that. You know, you're like, oh yeah, that guy's great. He's been here for 3 years, 4
Yeah.
years.
Yeah.
Whatever. Have a player that's been here for 5, 6, 7, 8. That's
Oh
gone.
my gosh.
Yeah, it kind of changes the
But
conversation.
let's go back
I
to the
think.
other part of the conversation you just mentioned is Schmetzer and the interim, title, so to speak. I know partly because I just love Brian and I've always loved Brian, and he embodies a sounderism, or the
Sounderism.
sounder
I love
land.
that.
He was on
Someone
No
needs to create the
Sadietis
sounderism
a couple
Twitter
weeks
account.
ago, and of course the fact that he mentioned us in like his first 5 words was pretty awesome.
Woo!
I would like that a lot.
I was like, what?
Yeah, I know, it's pretty
What?
cool. But that's not the reason why I loved him. I mean, he had a good conversation with Jeremiah. Obviously, it was a relatively short conversation, but in that short amount of time.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I'm still connected. It says a lot.
Yeah, hold on.
It's kind of not live though.
Yep.
Oh, there it is.
Excuse me.
I see it. It's back.
We're trying. Yeah, we're trying. We may have just lost connection for a second there. Yeah, it's back. Okay. So, anyways, but my point was when we were saying all this is that he's the guy I want the helm. I mean, he calls himself the steward of the club. He's humble about it, whatever word you want to use. But there's something about him that I just love, and I don't know if it's gonna happen. If it's gonna be what's gonna be our final piece, but I want it to be.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any comments or thoughts or?
I would
Pieces
love for
there?
it to happen.
Yeah.
I-
Do you think you want it to, but do you think it will?
Confident about it now than I did before.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, so if I was 40-60 before, maybe I'm 60-40 now. I don't think it's necessarily
You're
based on.
46?
I was 40-60 on Schmetzer. Thanks, though, for the age joke, Dave Clark. No, we have no sound.
Yeah, we're working on it. Just keep talking.
I'll just keep talking.
I was going to I forgot to tease your
I think it might be YouTube.
barista net.
Oh yeah,
I'm
good
getting
times.
an echo. This is good.
We'll get to that at some point.
Yeah.
When Mark figures out the show. He can hear me right now.
Actually, I think
I
we
can
may have
hear you.
lost internet here.
No?
So I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we lost internet here. So that's
Is there
cool.
Wi-Fi there?
There-
Did you lose the internet? No, I'm connected.
Says I'm connected and live.
But the YouTube page won't refresh.
Your computer is offline, is what I'm saying. Sorry, guys. We're gonna hang
Hold
on.
on.
here for a
I'll
second.
load Sounder at Heart and see what happens to my browser.
Nothing.
Oh, yeah. It's just hanging out.
Well, that's not good. Hold on.
I mean, I've got it here.
That's because you have a hard
No,
connection.
He's hard connection. Yeah.
I have
So
no
they
internet.
can't hear us though. Is that what they were hearing?
I just
My wireless is down.
They say they hear.
They can hear us.
All right, good.
So we have no internet.
Okay, whatever. We don't need the internet. Anyways, let's keep going.
Yeah.
We're fine.
We're talking about Schmetzer though, just about the
Yeah,
whole
man.
idea of the
How much-
Schmetzer.
I love
We want
Schmetzer.
him. We want you. You said you're 40-60 is what
No,
you said.
no, I would say I'm probably 60-40 now.
60-40. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
I think
Okay.
if they go, whether they make the playoffs or not, if they have a decent rest of the season,
Yeah.
I think he has a better chance than he probably did just taking on an interim role. You know, if they had just sort of middled their way through
Right.
the rest of
But
the
how
season.
much of if that's going to rely on his relationship with like a Garth? You already know he's
It
got
all
to
relies
relate
on that.
exactly, and that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying is like what's he seeing, what's he looking at, what's he evaluating,
You're
and how
right.
does he go into that and look at that? So,
I get the impression that, I mean, Gart talked about philosophical differences and those types of things. He's going to want a head coach that is on the same page philosophically.
Yeah.
And that's one of the, I think, advantages that Brian has and other assistant coaches in the league have is that they're not necessarily married to formational stylings or
Yeah.
roster philosophies.
Okay.
And what Brian's married to is a love for the team and a love for the organization and a love for Seattle. it's everything that we like about a Roger Levesque and a Zach Scott, except
Right.
he's doing it in a polo or a suit, and that's an advantage that he has. Because particularly if you're going to flip the roster, you want them to be able to understand how important it is to be a sounder.
Thank you.
There's your guy.
Yep.
Yeah.
So that helps him. And that's why I'm 74-26.
74-26.
That's
Why would you
actually
choose
well
74?
played.
I don't know.
What's
played.
the reference?
Did you
to
write that
74?
down like yesterday? You just made it up right now?
Somebody was mad at me.
I
Stumptown
had that.
Footy during our last 3 questions exchange.
Yeah.
We didn't do one for the second game because I guess I made them mad. They asked me how confident was I that Nicholas Ludero would be a good MLS player on a scale of 1 to 100, and my answer was 74. And people are like, "Wait, that's it?" I go, 74 is the perfect number.
That's hilarious. I love it.
Womp womp.
So
Oh,
Garth,
God.
if you're watching, hire Schmetzer.
Yep. Let's do it.
Remove the interim.
Schmetzen.
Remove the interim.
What's an interim?
interim? Interim out.
Oh,
Start that hashtag.
Hashtag
out.
interim out.
We would
I
post
like
that,
it.
but we don't have the internet.
We would,
Correct.
definitely would do that.
Correct.
Yes, we've lost the internet somehow, which is pretty awesome.
But we are still here for you guys.
Yes, we are.
Because
So-
our producer is running
All
the
right.
show.
Anything else Sounders related you want to chat about?
Um,
Other than the fact that
S2 is in a desperation mode to make the playoffs.
Yep.
Basically.
what has to happen to make that happen?
Step 1, they have to win out,
Okay.
and
Yep.
step 2, they're 10th in a league where 8 teams make it, so they need more than a little help to do it. Colorado, who is their next opponent, has already qualified for the playoffs, so that might help them a little bit.
Yes, rest them.
'Cause, they're kind of in that spot where they're not going to have a significant seeding change.
Yeah.
So that could help them. And maybe they get the, I call it the midfield buzzsaw pre-show of Mathers, Schweitzer, and Ojong back together.
Oh,
'cause
man,
if
those three.
are on.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then Darwin Jones during the second half of
Oh,
the season.
my God.
From
Yeah, was-
July 6th to
Was
the
not
present.
good before then.
No.
Yeah, he's had 6 goals this season.
Yeah.
All of them are from July 6th to
Yeah.
the present.
You
So
guys
he's
weren't
kind of
at
on
the
fire.
last two,
No.
the last S2 game, man. He scored literally
The
at the
home match?
last.
I was there.
You were
Yeah.
there, okay.
That was
You saw-
crazy.
dude, that was nuts.
Yeah.
He scored like the added time at the last
Oh,
second
that's right. I saw
possible.
the
Like
tweets.
literally.
Schweitzer had that first goal too, which
Yeah.
was on a
Yep.
like
Yeah,
that was a
an
hockey
amazing
goal.
finish to the home season.
Little near post redirect.
Yeah.
But that was Jordan had that week. He had 3 goals in that week, and somehow didn't even make the also mentioned
Yeah.
USL Team of the Week, despite your defensive midfielder with 3 goals, including one that was a point saver at the last second as well.
Yeah.
Um,
He's so money, man.
Those 4 have been
Yeah.
great. Alfaro continues to look good. He just rescued the
Yep.
point
Yeah.
with Energy FC. And then Vic Mansoray has really developed into a player with some strong ball control.
Gracias.
Really?
Yeah.
How's
Thank
my
you.
boy doing?
She doesn't know.
No. All right. That's okay. Yeah, one of the players that I really think is the most. I saw him the first couple games, and I was like, oh man, I don't know if this guy's gonna do anything. Is Mark Ojong, man? He has,
He had like 3 yellow cards in his first 3 games
Yeah.
and hasn't had one since.
and he's just been balling out,
Like he's
man.
settled. He's
Yeah.
like, oh, that's how they call the game here? I'm good.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. That's
Great
exactly it,
adjustment.
man. Yeah, amazing. He's.
I mean,
and
do
he's
you-
only like 18.
Do you
It's
think
crazy.
there's something to, now that we've had 2 seasons in to USL, there's a little bit of that haves and have-nots in this league with, like, think about where, like, Seattle, big club, has obviously this team in USL, but then you look around the country and you have these Sacramentos that are still drawing.
Cincinnati?
You have a couple of these cities where, like, it's the show.
Yeah,
in
Cincinnati's
town.
averaging like 14,000.
And, like, do you think there's...
They beat Sacramento's records.
Yeah.
I mean, do you think those clubs are doing that way too much with their eye on getting picked up to get into MLS at this point because of how it's been working the last few years? Or do you think that, like, the league will ultimately just step up a notch?
The league has talked about making a push for Division 2, and supposedly that's going to be on the slate again this offseason for them. So that's a big part of it because it's going to help a place like a Sacramento and a Cincinnati. They're
Right.
on local TV.
Right.
Yeah.
These independent teams down in USL are treating it seriously, and they're
Yeah.
making good
Yeah.
wages.
Yeah.
Energy FC has a TV deal.
Well, that's 'cause
Colorado
it's the only
Grand
thing in
Valley,
Oklahoma, though.
Grand
no,
Valley,
they also
Rio.
have an NASL team.
I think Rio Grand Valley also.
They're a weird situation with the Houston Dynamo,
right?
Okay.
That is actually what if the Rainiers S2 Sounders thing happens.
It'll be
It'll be a model similar to what Rio Grande does.
interesting.
Where the local group owns, in Seattle's case, the local group being the Rainiers would own like 40%, 39%, and the Sounders would own 41%, and the SCT would own 20%. The Sounders would be in charge of all soccer, and the Rainiers would be in charge of business and marketing. This is basically what Rio Grande does.
It sounds like it
and
would
it's
work on
worked
paper.
very well. Reno is going to be very similar to that for San Jose, and they're an expansion team. They and Nashville are joining. Nashville is going to be an independent side.
I wonder if that same. I remember like 4 years ago, I heard Nashville had a team that was
In
supporter.
the lower division,
Yeah.
they bought that team, but not at really a fair price. So that's why they're the same name and same logo, but the supporter owners basically got like their money back, and that's it.
Got it.
It was not the best of.
deals. They
Yeah.
got screwed.
Yeah, I'm not really sure
Then again,
that
yeah.
U.S. is going to be the play for how some of the supporter-owned stuff works for quite some time, because it just doesn't feel that it gets the same.
Yeah, you've got Detroit FC being the other NPSL
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
doing it, and they're having this huge pushback because they don't want to pay their players. I mean, they want to be strongly independent of MLS, and so they don't want to go to a league where their players can live by playing soccer.
Right.
I mean, that's not how they put it, but
That's what they're saying.
They essentially want to impoverish people so that they can drink beer and
Dave
light
reads
flares.
reads between the lines, though.
I know.
Yeah.
They're really enjoying lighting their flares off in their stadium, and if MLS comes, they're not going to be able to light flares off in a $200 million downtown Detroit stadium. They are in the 88-year-old place that they helped rebuild,
Yeah.
because if it burns to the ground, nobody's going to care.
Yeah.
Shade.
Anyway.
Major shade. Let's go. Love it.
Do we have any other Sounders things we want to talk about?
Oh, the producer.
I mean, that's like
the
a whole
producer
nother
calling out
episode.
I
mirrors.
think I called him Lofted Cross already a few times.
Yeah, you did. Yeah.
The
Tyrone.
whole match, we were like, I was standing next to
Should we put a
Hold on,
microphone
here,
in
here,
so
hold
people
on.
can hear
No,
him?
he doesn't want to. Hold on.
Then
I'll
don't
repeat
talk.
it. I'll repeat some of it. The whole match.
standing next to Chase.
Stand next to Chase.
We were both like,
Get back.
get back.
Get back. Oh, wait a minute. Did I do the hand?
No, man, I'm
So
excited
anyway.
for Saturday, man. I'm excited for Saturday. Oh, yeah, let's go, man. It's a big,
What's happening Saturday?
you know, only the biggest game of the year.
That I
1
can't
p.m.
come to?
kick.
You're not going?
Nope.
Why?
My daughter has a game at 11:30 in Tacoma.
And the game's at 1?
Uh-huh.
Just cancel it.
The last
Yeah.
Saturday game
Potentially, yes.
of the year, home.
Yep.
Not, you know,
Yeah, it's
barring
pretty awesome
playoffs.
that they way they scheduled the season, like every
Yeah.
shitty chance possible. So yeah.
I'll be there for you, man.
Thank you.
Do you need help with the tickets?
I don't
know
know
some
yet.
people.
Yeah.
All right, let me
So
know.
I'll let you
We're
know.
people that know people.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
not. We
Just
got,
stream
we
it
got,
for
we got
him.
some
We have
people.
two friends.
Oh,
Stream it.
that's right.
I'll watch
Yeah,
it.
that's
I'll figure
right.
out some way to
I'll
watch
stream
it.
it for you.
I'll watch it just like I watched the stupid Portland game from and like
Oh,
from like 20 minutes away in Portland. While I
Oh,
was
that
in
was a
Portland
rough
for her game.
first
Did they
half.
trophy though?
They did. They trophied. They got second place in their division. So yeah. So they trophied.
Nice.
You know what a silver is?
Better than.
Goddamn metal.
That's right.
Did you guys hear about the Paralympics today?
Oh yeah. I think
No, I
I
didn't
didn't
see
read the article, but I saw the results.
A guy finished in the 1500. He finished with what would have won the gold in the
Seriously?
What?
in the
In the regular
That's
Olympics?
yeah.
outstanding.
And guess
That's
what?
awesome.
He finished in the Paralympics
What?
fourth.
wait.
He
I have a
finished
question.
fourth in the 1500 in the T12 T13. That's the Paralympics for visually impaired. He finished fourth.
Jesus.
He would have finished first in the standard Olympics. Oddly enough, the person who finished first in the Paralympics was his brother
Crazy.
in
That's
the
nuts.
1500.
Good for them.
It
Brendan,
was a sub 4 minute 1500.
That's insane. Brendan wants to know if you want to walk to his, or drive to his house and walk to him, walk to the match with him, march to the match with him on Saturday.
Maybe.
I've driven that, and that's
It's a long drive.
No, it's like 6 miles.
no.
No.
It's longer than that. It's
Oh.
closer
You
to
know, if you
10.
take the water route, isn't it like 6 miles?
I know, because I've been killing people on Fitbit right now. But
Do you know how many Pokemon you could hatch?
oh, you know what? No, wait, listen. I have a friend. He showed me a modified Pokemon app, and he can go anywhere
Track
in the
'em.
world and get them from his house. It's crazy. He showed
They
and I
broke
saw
the-
it
they
happen.
broke the
Yeah, we
GPS.
call that cheating.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was like,
It
wow,
is
you're
called
crazy,
cheating.
dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know a guy.
If
I know
anybody's
a
still
guy.
playing, they have a wearable now for Pokemon that they just released.
They have a
Yeah.
wearable?
Yeah. So you don't have to leave the app open on your phone while you're walking?
I love that.
Just walk.
Apple
Yeah.
There's one on the watch now?
Yeah.
Apple announced
Watch.
that they're partnering for the new app for the
Did you
new
even-
phone.
No, I've been out of it for
He
like the last 2
literally
weeks.
turned off
Dude,
the
when-
internet
when
for
you
like 2
didn't-
weeks.
I
when
did.
you-
I really did. I
When
literally
you don't
did.
watch,
You didn't even know that the
Apple
bar next to me
announces.
opened
No,
up. I didn't know
Comcast-
it really just-
Comcast
Yeah.
actually
I don't
have a
called
clue.
Aaron to make sure he was still alive.
Who did?
Because they haven't heard,
Comcast.
Oh, yeah.
they hadn't heard from him
My
in a
internet,
couple weeks.
My internet downloads have gone to zero. So it's
You haven't called us to complain in several weeks. Are you still alive?
Is everything okay?
It's a true story. I actually got that phone call. No, that's funny.
Or was that the sound?
We had another question about another event that happened.
Questions? We
La
answer questions.
Barbecue, I bet. Let's go, man. I saw my boy Aaron came
I
through
did.
with the family.
Yep.
It was a
Sarah
blast.
Was there. Sarah and Brad were there.
Yes, Sarah and
little
Brad
one.
came through with Micah.
The scooter.
What is the barbecue? Let's start at
No.
the beginning. For those of us that
Barbecue.
don't know what's
For
going
those
on.
of you that don't know what the barbecue
Is
is
that like a play on barbecue?
is oh my god.
Oh, is that
I
what it
wish
means?
I wish I would have thought of that.
I wish I was a little bit taller.
I wish I was a little bit taller. I wish I
Stop.
was a baller.
Dave actually does.
That's wish you was a little bit taller. Yeah. No,
Anyway, so barbecue.
You know, in appreciation for everybody's support of Barra Swag and just being part of the ECS family and being part of Barra, we give back a taco barbecue where we call it taquiza. In Mexico, they call them a taquiza. A taquiza.
Taquiza.
Yeah, which is basically like a barbecue of tacos.
They
And
were good tacos.
yeah, they were, man. We pretty much just hook up all the carne asada for tacos, chicken. We hook up all the meats, and we just ask people to join us. Bring a side dish. Bring whatever you can. It's
I brought
been-
myself.
Sure, that'd be great.
dude. I mean, it was been on the Vara Facebook page. It's been on Vara. It's been tweeted about. I mean, it's out there. You know the dates.
You know, if you were on the internet for the last month, you would have seen it.
I mean, he wasn't on the internet, and he saw it, and he made it. He made
It's
it.
true.
I didn't even get like a group text from you guys that was going on at like 2 a.m. like they normally do.
Yeah, I know.
No, but it was
we
fun,
haven't
man.
we haven't had group text going for like a
A
long
while.
time either.
Yeah.
At
So
all.
anyway,
But it was dope. We had
I
like,
like
I
who
don't
they
know
are.
how many people you think were there. I think
Barely.
40.
40 or 50, yeah,
Yeah,
easily. Yeah, it was a
maybe
good group.
60.
Yeah.
That's good
It was a
stuff.
nice
And it was
good
funny
group.
because I didn't know some of them, so that was cool.
Yeah.
I got to meet some new people.
Yep.
I don't know how involved they were with Barra or if they were more like external
A
folks.
combination of all, man.
Yeah.
I think you got a bit of like. There's some people that showed up that were the founders of the
Yeah,
Barra
okay,
that
yeah.
have not been going to groups, but they
Yeah.
still made it to the
Yeah.
barbecue.
Well, I haven't seen Christy in a while. I also saw her.
Yeah,
and that was
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
So
Was Esco there?
He
Nope.
was not. He was at a wedding. He was at a wedding
Yeah.
this
Wrong
weekend.
priorities, Esco.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Yell at him.
I know.
well, unfortunately, also but cool, but bad timing. The foot golf was
Same
going
day.
on, same day.
Yeah.
So
that went pretty well.
Did it?
Yeah.
It seemed like it was
Nice.
a
Yeah. There was
decent
like a couple
Saturday
hours,
all around.
a couple hours
Some overlap.
beforehand.
Yeah, yeah.
People
Yeah.
showed up beforehand, and then they
People were
went
like,
out.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
go kick a soccer ball around long distance,
Nice.
and then I'm gonna go get
Yeah.
some tacos.
Yeah, it worked out really nicely, man. We actually ended it a little early than we thought we were going to because enough people wanted to go watch the game at the Berliner.
Yeah, we all
So-
came down here. Yeah.
So we instead of staying there till 8, we closed it down like at 6.
6:45. Yeah.
6:45,
Well,
and-
6 we started, and then
Yeah.
6:45 ish we all left.
No, man,
Or
but it was
most of
great,
us.
man. The food was great. Amazing
Yeah,
food, man.
good food.
Amazing
good,
food.
good people, good food.
Yeah.
I'm glad I went. It was cool. That's a cool park too up there, Jefferson
Dude,
Park.
Dude, it's so nice,
so
man.
it's
Oh,
a really
yeah.
cool park.
It's fantastic.
Parks
Yeah.
are way nicer than when I was a kid, man.
We do have.
We had
Yes.
nothing but like a
It's the
hot.
AstroTurf.
We had metal bars that you got burned on, and that's it. Really hot bars.
Did you
bars.
get Aaron to eat cabeza?
No, we didn't have cabeza, but he ate.
I would have. I've actually eaten.
What's
I've-
cabeza?
Oh, you mean
Yeah, I've
you
eaten
didn't
it.
have leche
What?
de tigre? You didn't
Right.
have tiger's milk.
Bullshit.
Wait, there was tiger's milk?
Yeah. So but it was
That's
one
what
of
you were drinking
part of
the
the
whole time?
appetizers. No, actually,
I had a Rainier though. Damn, it was I haven't had a Rainier in a long time.
What's her name that you hadn't seen for a while? What's her name again?
Christy?
Christy.
Christy?
She made it. So it's prawns that are marinated in like lime juice.
Oh,
with,
dude, what?
With
We've talked about
peppers,
this, yeah.
with cucumbers.
You messed up.
Dude, it was gone. Like, it was, yeah. It was delicious.
Damn.
But no, it was fun, man. And thank you, everybody that,
Yeah, it was
showed
good.
up, was
It
able
was
to
fun.
make it. It was cool.
I'm glad I
good
went.
time.
It was my
Yeah,
first
dude.
one I finally got to go to, so
Yeah.
I was happy.
I was happy too, man. I missed last year's, but I made this year, so.
The
it's
bar
fun.
swag, by the way, this year is hot.
It's awesome. It's
All
fun,
of
man.
it.
The football.
Yeah, super hot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
And some people want it. I brought a friend she's not a soccer fan.
Yep.
And it was actually pretty cool. It was interesting.
She came and hung out with us here too afterwards. That was cool.
Yeah. Yeah. She's.
Have I met her?
No.
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 She came
But
to
you
game
might-
night.
You probably will meet her.
Yeah, she came to game night with
We've
us.
been hanging out. She's cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's cool people.
Yes.
Definitely,
For sure.
definitely.
And I actually like that she doesn't like soccer.
Uncle
Like,
Mark,
Uncle Mark.
cool.
there was a question, right?
There was a question.
Could you please discuss Jordan Morris for 3 minutes for bread?
Like exactly 3 minutes?
At least.
Do I need to start my timer, or do you
I
got
got it.
Okay. All right,
Go.
ready? 1, 2, 3,
Okay.
go.
I mean,
So he's pretty good.
I
Does he
quoted
play-
at the beginning of the year on the radio, on the Spanish radio show, that he was gonna end up with 8 or 9 goals and have a hell of a season.
Well, he's already at 9.
Yeah, I
so
called it.
that's looking pretty good.
Yeah.
Um,
People were complaining. My co-host, one of my co-hosts who shares the same name, Hugo Tocayo, told you, bro, that he was like, man, I don't think he's gonna do much. I was like, no, he's gonna end up with like 9 goals, 8 or 9 goals, man. He'll be good.
back in the U.S. national team picture too.
Yeah.
World Cup qualifiers. Now, obviously, it's not Josie Altidore or Bobby Wood,
Or Christian.
or if
Or
well,
Pulisic.
but Josie
they're only
can't decide
keeping
if
four.
he's Josie some
but
weeks.
they're
so.
only keeping
Amber.
4 forwards right
Right.
now. So if you look at that, that's Josie and Bobby.
Yep.
Yeah.
Clint, if he's healthy, is obviously going to go.
Right.
And so you've got Aaron Johansson, who, when healthy,
This is technically
probably
still
there.
about Jordan.
Jordan Morris. That's kind of your next tier.
Yeah.
The Chris Wondolowski, the whichever 21-year-old kid, not or 20-year-old. Like there's Lyndon Gooch, and maybe who's that? Julian Green. Remember him? He's
Yeah.
still alive.
Yeah. He's playing
Oh,
for
that's
Bayern,
right.
right?
Gideon
Forgot about him.
Christian
Zelalem.
Pulisic obviously belongs there, and he won't take Jordan's spot. But so Jordan's right in that bubble for that 4th spot. So it'll be interesting to see the selection coming up.
Yeah.
When USA Mexico, Jordan scored on Mexico twice. Once at the U23
Goddamn.
level and once at the
They-
senior team level.
Dose.
So he should
Seriously?
probably
Dose.
start against Mexico
No, you won't.
in Columbus
I don't
to
know, man.
score against Mexico,
since
because
that
that's what he
match-
does against
Dose.
Mexico.
Since that match that he had no
Dos.
left foot,
Yeah.
he
Dos,
looks
Aaron.
totally different.
Dose.
And it's not that he's got a
Acero.
left now. He just doesn't seem to be, favoring the right. Like he's just playing a different
I
game.
see that. Yeah.
Or he's not putting himself in positions where he gets eaten up by his own
Side.
Yeah,
ability.
Preference.
you saw, people were like, why didn't you shoot? Why didn't you shoot? And so then the very next game, he had that opportunity where people are like, why didn't you round the keeper? And it's the same people who are like, don't shoot. It's the same opportunity. He shot.
Yeah.
And he's
You can't
more
please
about
everybody,
making
man.
it happen, which is good because we need to see that from him.
How about
what he
picking
did,
one?
What he
Yeah.
did against San Jose, he had those 2 passes that could have resulted in something. Vanchitz keeps it down. Nelson
Ugh.
Valdez runs faster.
So
what?
here's an important question.
Might have been better to be at Nelson's feet rather than at his head at that point, but I think Jordan had that huge run, so it wasn't necessarily the control. Like, I don't know what his control of his pass was like after he'd sprinted 65 yards to the end
Right.
line
Right.
with a man on him the
Right.
entire time. I think that was just a case of popping the cross off because that's the best thing he can do, and that was the cross that happened.
That's
so.
that's 3 minutes on Jordan Morris. But the question that I'll end with is better Instagram account: Jordan Morris daily or Christian Roldan daily?
Wait, there's a daily for both?
Christian Roldan daily.
Jordan Morris.
Yeah, that was the wrong answer there, Hugo.
I know. I'm just playing. Duh.
So, we should put it up to the group, but should Brett get a Roldan jersey or go to homecoming?
Homecoming dress
She's trying
or
to figure
a-
it out.
I was okay. Yeah, good Roldan.
make
Well, this is
Get
our-
a larger
That's a
Roldan
really good
jersey and wear it as
Wear
your
the
homecoming
jersey.
question.
Yes.
Homecoming
yes.
dress.
Yes. Do it.
Might not pass the.
What?
Um,
Yeah. Oh
With
yeah. I'm
really-
totally happy with that.
really good shoes.
Really good shoes.
And you know, if she
So we're
goes with
telling you,
the
don't make hard choices. Do both.
if she goes with the blue,
Yeah, right. The
I think that's
Pacific
the
blue,
play.
I think so.
Yeah.
Pacific blue Roldan
oh,
dress.
yeah, no question. No question.
done. So both.
Both.
Yeah, we give her no options.
No, none. That's probably not going to help
You
her.
shouldn't
at all.
have to make hard choices.
Dude, I'm just glad
You
that
can get
Vancouver's
everything.
playing like crap because I think we're gonna win on Saturday.
Hey, did you see? I think that if the Sounders beat Vancouver twice with like a +6 goal differential, they can still win the Cascadia Cup.
Yes.
Is it +6?
I think it's +6.
It's a plus big number.
Yeah.
And Vancouver
Beat
has to
Portland.
beat Portland.
right.
Can't give up a point. Has to beat Portland.
Yeah.
So if we win 4-0, this is doable.
If we win 4-0, things get super interesting.
Yeah, they do.
Can you
I'm
imagine
gonna call
getting both the
4-0
Cascadia
Saturday.
Cup and the Heritage Cup in the same season?
4-0. Cuatro
I mean,
a
the
cero.
Heritage Cup just pushes it so far over the edge. I don't even know. People literally. So we put a link to the Heritage Cup Wikipedia page in the newsletter last weekend.
People were like,
it
huh?
was the most clicked on thing
nobody knows, yeah.
of everything we posted in the entire newsletter.
That's awesome.
I got to link a story
Hold
that
on, what is it?
one of
Yeah,
our
exactly.
writers wrote in
It's literally
2011.
just San Jose and the Sounders.
I thought it was Vancouver
No,
and
No, they were
Toronto.
allowed to be in it.
but they
they
chose not
refused.
to.
No.
Or refused. Sorry, refused.
Yeah.
They refused. Yeah, so our one of my favorite stories we ever
That
wrote
is so
was
funny.
the Heritage Cup, a really good idea that isn't working, essentially. Where it's like, let's honor these teams that have respected that there's soccer history before 1996 in MLS and have looked to reach towards that. Cause that's what
Super
this
good
has done.
idea.
Yeah.
Except that,
It's not working.
I mean, and the Portland Vancouver basically turned it down because they didn't want it. Because then it essentially would have been a Cascadia Cup +1.
Like the
And they've
Heritage
said
Cup
they've-
could be a joke on Silicon Valley.
Yeah, it's,
One of the interesting things is, and I think something that San Jose should look at doing, is hosting a preseason tournament
Moving.
and reach out to the NASL and USL teams that have also done that. Host them, the Cosmos,
Dave, stop
The
talking about things
Strikers.
that make sense.
the Rowdies, the,
the
Tulsa
Rowdies.
Roughnecks.
Rio OKC.
No. As well as, the Sounder, Portland. And if you did a preseason Heritage
That would be
Cup,
super fun.
It'd be a fun
totally
tournament.
different thing.
But it's what they should be doing.
Right.
Because at this point, even if who's joining, Miami isn't going to be the Strikers.
No.
Minnesota is going to be United. They're not taking the Kicks. Who else? Cincinnati didn't have an NASL team to my memory. St. Louis maybe could take the. So you're talking the cup that's not relevant for 15 years.
It's
If you
literally
wanted to,
like
so one guy from San Jose that might be listening in 3 days because you got somebody to tell you about this. Adapt, overcome. Get your people down there to host a preseason soccer tournament. San Jose, Central California, Northern California is a decent visit in February. It's better than half of the MLS cities.
yes.
Host a little preseason
sell tickets
tournament.
at the Lobina, and then everyone will just be really drunk.
Well, it's it's a preseason tournament. It's $10 tickets.
Yeah.
Get people in
More
there.
money for beer.
Yeah.
Run. Get the 6
Speaking of
teams.
beer.
Didn't we just go over that? 6
Oh,
teams in the
God.
in the nation that are doing it, and the winner takes home the current Heritage Cup.
You know that a Bud Light costs
It's a good
69
idea.
cents at Costco, and they mark it up to $9 at the stadium. 69 cents to 10.
Insane.
Are you shocked?
Nice.
Dude, I mean, it's been a while since I actually saw the cents because I was at Costco, the per
Good job,
unit.
guys.
So
For those of you that missed that joke, someone said
Nice.
69,
Yeah, nice, yeah.
and then other people said nice.
Yeah, Bart said
The
Remember,
internet
the
is-
internet is
Is super excited right now.
internet memes are directed by 14-year-old men, basically.
Great.
Does anybody
69.
else? So does anyone have any questions for either
Dave.
of the?
or any of us, actually, yeah.
Yeah, anybody.
Yeah.
And it's, you can think about it, and then also live as well.
Yes. Yeah.
Let's talk
Mark has
while
nothing.
they're thinking.
Let's
talk about
the weather.
The weather's been nice. I like the weather. I'm glad
I
we're
love the
outside
weather.
because it's nice out here. Yeah, I want to talk about the protests. The what am I? What are you pointing at?
What's going on right now? Well, not the protest, the game.
Colin Kaepernick is playing.
Yeah, Colin
kind
Kaepernick.
of
Yeah. But
in
just talk
uniform.
about that in general. Just the whole idea of the city in Washington that I will never use the name of again. It's also a chemical company. Screw you, you stupid mayor, for overreacting.
Those are
I
stupid.
thought they were rescheduling it.
No, they are now
he's-
because now that it's now
called
that
it
he-
off.
I realize how stupid he
Because
is.
didn't understand what the
Oh, you
Seahawks were
boycotted
doing.
all of our businesses?
And then he said, "Oh, you know what? I think we should do it. So let's do the rally for the next game." And I don't know what he's going to do next week, but obviously the man enjoys being in national news, so he will
Yeah.
do something.
exactly, of course he will.
It's a 2-exit town.
But he got scared because what
There's
happened?
a good strip mall
King
there if
5
you're ever at Fort Lewis or Joint
Yeah.
Base Lewis McCord.
Yep.
Just go to Lakewood.
King 5
different
tweeted a
direction.
link
One's
because
north, one's south.
they were going to have a press conference with him, and they were the first ones there, and they were going to do like a one-on-one interview, and they tweeted it, and they had it live. They had the audio live with the video, but they didn't mean to have the audio live, and it was interesting listening to the audio. They were negotiating with it, and then when he found out everybody was coming, they said, we're not going to talk to you one-on-one. We're going to talk to the whole group as one. But King 5 screwed up, and I was listening to watching it and listening to it. It was a very, well, I mean, especially in your business, it was a really like
don't say that on the internet.
it was like with a big. I'm like this dude,
He's a
but he was also.
douche.
I think he was scared. He was getting worried that he was getting, but also he loves the idea of the press. But that guy is a
Well, because it's easy
dildo.
to say something, and then like you get your one interview, and you're like, oh, this is okay.
Yeah.
And then you're like, oh, snap. Literally
Yeah,
everyone on the
everybody in
internet
the
hates
world.
me.
Yeah, yeah.
Maybe I should rethink my strategy.
Yeah. But I thank you for serving. I appreciate everything you've given, and everybody who served. My grandpa, I still get teary-eyed at the national anthem because I think of my grandpa, what he sacrificed, etc. Right. So for me, it's still
Dude, it's
emotional.
intense there for the Seahawks game.
Yeah, it shook me up a little bit. I was in the car, so I didn't get a chance to watch
Yeah.
it live. But it was
I'll tell you
pretty,
guys. I'll tell you in a bit about
yeah.
it.
But I love the fact that we live in a country where you're able to have a protest if you disagree with something like that. I support it personally. I stand and hold my hand for it, and make sure the kids are respectful, et cetera, because that's the way I was brought up. But I also believe 100% that Kaepernick, what he did, and everybody wants to do, Megan, whoever wants to do it, I like it. I'm personally for it. I loved what the Seahawks did. I thought that was great, personally. Some people hated it. Some people liked it. I loved it. I love the unity. I love the bringing together. Whatever. That's what I love.
Yeah,
so I just
man.
wanted to say that tonight, that
At
I
the
loved it. I
stadium,
appreciate it.
I'm with you on that. And at the stadium, man, that moment is like one of those, like, that's why everybody would love to go to the opening game, because they do such a big kickoff. Like we had a couple of years where we didn't, when the economy was doing really bad and they didn't want to pay for the fuel, but they usually bring out like
the big flag.
not just the big
Dude,
flag.
there's a
dude.
flyby.
They fly by with
Yeah.
like a big bomber, like
Yeah.
a huge bomber that covers the whole.
Yeah,
the
with
whole-
with being at
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
opening day and on 9/11.
They've had Blackhawks. They've had Blackhawks come through, Jets. I mean, you get like the sense of, holy shit, man, our country's fucking badass. Like you get
One of the
shivers.
interesting
like, oh.
things, a lot of people were critical of the Seahawks for choosing their moment of unity and build a bridge and the linked arms, because it's kind of generic. It doesn't actually present, moment of unity behind what? What's the action? Today they talked about what they're going to do, and it's a long list, and it includes the players going into small town and downtown police departments and meeting with the police. It talks about the players.
Players?
Yeah.
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 Players going into
That's pretty serious.
Yeah.
impoverished
Yeah.
communities.
Seriously, the players
So,
are gonna go?
What's interesting is while they did the moment of unity and the build a bridge, which weren't accepted by the people who appreciated Kaepernick and others kneeling.
They didn't appreciate it.
Well, the people who like Kaepernick and whatnot kneeling pretty much looked down on the Seahawks for.
Oh,
for
yeah,
the-
yeah. It wasn't
taking
hardcore
it-
enough.
It was a
Yeah.
half measure.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
it was kind of bland and vague. But
Yeah.
in the end, what they're doing is exactly what Colin Kaepernick wants, was
Exactly.
starting and initiating those conversations.
Yeah.
And the Seahawks today, it's at Seahawks.com. John Boyle wrote it up. Quotes from all the guys that you expect to speak. Bennett, Baldwin,
Sherman, yeah.
These are really smart men that are African American who understand in ways that I can't.
Exactly.
The type of things that are going on, and so they're talking about they will meet with and have started already to schedule meetings outside of football with. They're not talking football; they're talking race relations.
Yes.
Right.
With
Community.
the police
police.
and the communities here in town. So
And do you think maybe,
Um,
just maybe,
it-
that they did it the way they did it because it was a national tragedy holiday, and that they realized that, and they had that vision of we're going to do this multifaceted. We're going to release point A and then point B and point C and build up to it.
It's
So
like
too
anything
smart,
else.
man.
You
That's
can
too
parse
smart.
or
That's too
like
smart.
break down everything you want and be like, I don't like the way your
Yeah.
left hand was turned.
Right.
Like for everything.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I do think that went into it because you saw even with Pino.
Yeah.
Like she's still pretty firm in her statement, but she was like, you know what? It's today.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm going to stand with the group.
Yep.
Doing my thing.
Yep.
Because
Whatever.
the Rain had heard what the Seahawks were going to do. You know, when that went out over
Right.
social media, both the Rain and the Storm echoed the Seahawks with the linked arms during the national anthem. And Pino actually said postgame, she said, I might kneel in the future. It's
Yeah.
going to depend on
Yeah.
what is best for continuing the conversations.
Exactly.
Because the people that are protesting aren't doing it to protest the flag. They're doing it
bring
to spark
attention.
conversations
Right.
about
Exactly.
They're literally trying
racial
to, like,
inequality
poke
and
you.
social
Yeah.
justice.
So you want to talk about something.
Yes.
And again, like somebody who paid attention to this when Mahmoud Abdul Rauf had done this, what Chris Jackson
Yeah,
formerly
Nuggets.
had done this. I remember I lived in New Jersey at the time. People were freaking out.
Totally,
about
dude. I remember that one, too.
And I would say it was
I think that
at
was
the same
1994.
level as the Kaepernick like day zero, the first time
Yeah.
he did something. It was pretty bonkers.
Yeah.
And it never really got anywhere.
It wasn't a movement then.
Yeah, it was just like I'm making a
Social
statement.
media was not around then.
Yeah,
No.
it was just
Well,
a,
but
a different thing.
Other
different
players
time.
didn't join in. There hadn't been the.
It didn't go anywhere. And I
Yeah.
think Kaepernick, love the Niners or hate them, that day, I listened to a lot of sports radio, and both here and East Coast, they were like, yeah, seems selfish. It's all about him. Look at his socks with pigs on them and blah, 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 and all this other stuff. He's not starting a conversation. And then literally the next day, he rolls up to a press conference and is like, we need to talk about some things.
and he talked about it, and he's donating the money. The 49ers are donating the money. He's gotten other players to join in. Basically, every team has had at least one player
Yep.
take a stance,
Yeah.
except for the Seahawks, because
Well,
of their.
But they did.
But they did
yeah.
something different.
Yeah.
And what's more important than the stance that they're taking is what the follow through.
actions. Yes.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing that was what was important with Kaepernick. It wasn't why did you? It wasn't did he kneel and is that appropriate?
Yeah.
It's the conversation that he had the next day, and that didn't get picked up nationally the same way the kneeling
Right.
Yeah.
moment did.
Which
But-
is unfortunate.
Yeah, it is.
but for the people of Santa Clara, San Jose, San Francisco, the West and South Bay, they are going to be better off because of what Kaepernick started.
Yep.
So,
Absolutely.
that whole
Interesting
think
that it's
global,
probably
act
going to be as
local.
big as legacy than his playing career.
Well, and here's the thing.
That's
You know,
great,
a lot of
It
times
is
stuff
great.
like this happens and people are like, oh, it's ego, it's this or that. Dude's been on the verge of getting cut for like a year.
Uh-huh.
Okay. And
2.
he's like, A, I'm going to pony up money. B, I'm going to stake my everything I say to the press on this right now. He pretty much believes it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, this
Yeah.
isn't like him playing around.
No, exactly.
So, like, good on him. Like it or not, good on him to say, let's actually have this conversation. And I know we talked about somebody earlier, Nate Bowling, who's an ECS
Yes.
member,
Yep.
Washington State Teacher of the Year.
Yep.
Awesome guy.
hangs out with
He's-
presidents.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, exactly, yes.
With
Bill
Bill Gates.
Gates
Yeah.
is posting videos with him, like,
Nerd farmer.
It's fantastic, right? Nerd farmer.
Nerd farmer.
It's fantastic to follow on Twitter. Like, super good guy.
Yeah, dude.
I don't know, man. I learned a lot just watching him on
too.
Twitter, let
Yeah.
alone like randomly getting 5 minutes of his time. And I think if anything comes out of all this stuff,
We should have him on the show. Sorry.
if anything comes out of all this,
Oh, okay.
if at a minimum what ends up happening was the criticism people had, which was like, you need to start a conversation here.
Yeah.
If the conversation gets started, great.
You
Let's
saw
figure out what that does next. Like,
Yes.
what's next?
Yes.
Step 2.
Right.
the Seattle Times had surveyed a bunch of players for other teams and whatnot. So basically, every one of their sports beat reporters talked to somebody about it. Pence talked to Hercules Gomez.
Yep.
I haven't read it yet.
And it's a good read because Herc says like that his best friend
He
growing
says what he
up
wants.
is
Yeah.
an African American who's now a police officer. But at the same point, Hercules Gomez, when he was he's 16, described a moment when he was reaching for his proof of insurance, and all of a sudden there's a handgun in his face because the proof of insurance is in the glove box.
Yep.
And he talks about being privileged and fortunate because he doesn't live in those circumstances anymore, but he knows what they were, and so he understands my impression from his words are that he understands both
Yeah.
the argument coming out of associations like Black Lives Matters, but at the same point, his best friend's a cop,
Right.
and he goes, "He's blue." That's the phrase he used for. So, interesting thing that it's at the Seattle Times. Go to their sports section.
Yeah.
Well, he did a chat with them, right?
Um,
Didn't he do a chat or something?
No, I don't think he's done that
Thought he
yet.
did.
He tweeted it out, called it a chat.
Okay. Yeah.
But it was like
I
5
saw Pence's
paragraphs.
stuff. Yeah.
No, and every one of their beat reporters talked to somebody. So, there's stuff from Mariners and Seahawks and the teams in the area about this. So it's not just the Times did their part. We Sounder Heart is going to try and do some stuff about that conversation about how some of our greatest sports heroes are the people who absolutely took sports and politics and smashed them together.
Yeah.
Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
But this is no different for me. Again, as somebody who's like pitched talent to go speak on this show, a show
Yeah.
on the radio, on TV, whatever. Every one of those interviews you listen to on sports radio, that talent is not just there because they happen to hit a home run or whatever on Saturday. It's because they're working with brand X and are having an event. And maybe it's a charity and maybe
Right.
it's their own thing or whatever. Like, that's all an opportunity for them to talk about a brand or a thing. To me, this is no different than that.
Right.
This is just, Sherm has an opinion. Well, Sherm always has an opinion. Right?
Which is why
but
we love
Sherm
him.
has an opinion, but you're going to have Sherm on because he's Sherm.
Yep.
Now you're going to have Sherm on and talk about this for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
It's
'Cause
better
he's
than
got
him talking
something to
about
say.
Old Boy Oberto for 20 minutes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But that's
No,
exactly my
I
point.
love you
Like,
guys.
book people to talk about
me
this
teriyaki.
all day long. And
Yeah.
I mean, I still listen to a lot of WFA and the big sports radio
yeah.
station in New
Oh, yeah,
York.
sure.
Listen to that. Like sleep with it
Godfather.
on, and like it's really interesting to hear the dichotomy of callers. You have the overnight caller who's 50, 60 plus, states that they're white, who want nothing to do with any of this.
Yeah.
And then in the middle of the day, you listen, and it's 24-year-old guy from Bronx
And they
who's
have
like,
phones?
"This is the best thing that's ever happened with sports players ever in my generation," and it's unfortunate and very, very telling at the same time.
It is, man.
Yeah.
And I think it definitely reflects the political environment, man.
It does.
Totally.
And I think, Dave, your article you wrote last Friday,
Sexy
I think
as
Friday or
hell.
whatever, it was fantastic.
Oh,
it was.
dude,
The,
it was
the
so
mixed into
badass.
sports and politics, and we are relatively careful here. Our politics lean and shows through, obviously, but we try and be real, the fine line, and we don't want to turn everybody off, et cetera, but we're also going to, I'm not one to be quiet, so I'm not going to let,
I mean, you're voting
major
Trump.
things.
You're voting Trump, right?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Make America great again.
Yeah. Tacos on every corner.
I can't wait. But that's part of it. Since you brought it up, I'm going to finish my thought that I was saying earlier, but I wasn't going to say.
My bad.
But let's make America better. America's great. Let's make it better, right? I mean, we don't need to make America great again, because again references a whole lot of stuff that wasn't great.
References
it was great for
downturn.
one specific
Yes.
Maybe
people,
we're not down.
or
We're
one
just
specific-
not good.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But let's make America better as a group, community, together, with unity. That's why I liked the Seahawks thing, and I looked at it, and maybe I'm reading too much into it, but I looked at it as a multifaceted approach here. It wasn't just a simple.
It was a
let's hold
calculated,
arms.
well-planned
It wasn't.
out
That wasn't
thing,
it.
man.
There was much more behind it, and
They are
now we're
smart
seeing
organization.
that.
They know what they're
So
doing, man.
They're only smart,
Well,
but
and
they're
when the
smart
players are
men
doing
on the
it,
field.
It's interesting when the players do something,
Yeah.
and then you see the team tweet it later.
Yes.
And then
You're
the
like,
players
oh,
score the game-winning
okay.
fucking touchdown by catching two critical catches. A fourth down.
Oh, yeah?
Oh my God, it was amazing.
That
And
guy's
the
pretty
touchdown.
good.
dude. I was like,
Let's
Yeah.
go.
let's go,
Yeah.
woo! That's what I'm talking about, man.
Yeah, I
Doug
agree.
Baldwin is the man.
I agree.
Man, I wish I would have
heard
drafted him for my
speak at
fantasy
the,
football
at the,
team.
GeekWire
I'm
sports
jealous.
event. Thanks to Adam, and oh my God, he's something special.
Yeah.
That guy is. He is something special.
Yeah.
Like you were there, and it's Sherman too. Hearing him talk, we're fortunate with the people we have on the pitch. They're good off and on the pitch.
Yeah.
And
I
it's
agree,
that's
man.
what I like.
I
So, anyways, I want to make sure. I'm glad we talked about this, guys. Thank you for.
Oh, yeah.
Non
For
sequitur.
going on to
It was actually really
But that was
good, man.
It was-
I think it's
thank you
important,
for your-
man.
We will. I would say we end up talking about this again.
We will.
Oh,
we
no
will.
question.
Yeah. I hope we do. I
Yeah,
hope it
no
doesn't
question.
end
Yeah,
today.
I agree.
It can't end, I should say.
Total non sequitur. I'm sorry.
No problem.
Are you guys gonna watch money lynch with Bear Grylls.
Oh, is that
shit,
tonight?
that's
When
I
is
think
it?
it's
Is that tonight?
Yeah.
Tonight at 10 on NBC.
Well, then we better wrap up and go.
Yep,
because
guys.
It's,
Sean Lynch hanging out with Bear Grylls out in the wilderness.
Holy shit.
I can't
What
imagine
channel?
Mar-
NBC?
Don't
Yep.
know.
no, probably
NBC.
No, no.
NBC.
Is it
NBC.
NBC?
All right.
Like
regular.
Man,
regular
well,
fi-
let me
Channel
tell
five.
you, if there's a
Five?
guy at this table who's going to know it's on NBC or not,
Yeah.
There's a
probably the guy who
works-
works for NBC.
Good job.
Colin.
You know who
Rest
else had
of
a
the
hell of a game? Our
So-
punter, John Ryan. Let's go. That guy.
That guy
man.
is
I'm a
pretty
little
sweet.
frustrated with the punts this year because
What?
they're under 50 yards. Now, part of this is the cover.
The snapper. It's the snapper.
He outkicked his covers when he only went 49 yards. That's on the frickin' Gunners, man. Those Gunners need to go faster because that's the other thing too is remember last year John always went well left,
Yeah.
like on the numbers rather than the hash. This year it's on the hash,
Yeah.
going more central.
Yeah.
It's a
I
little less
legit
exciting
think
for me to live tweet.
I legit think we should get you on Q13 after every match to
Yeah.
talk about John Ryan,
No,
and I'm
he,
not even kidding.
No, he avoided.
I'm
he,
still working on my
he
John Ryan, Sarah
avoided
Coloma.
a block.
But like
punt,
seriously,
dude. He
imagine
avoided
like
a block punt.
30 seconds
Yeah.
of Dave Clark from
Ooh,
home
dude. I was like,
with
thank
who's it,
God.
Aaron Levine. Just like 30 seconds stream Dave Clark living room commentary on John Ryan's punt.
Just give me work with like one of the.
I'm gonna come over and
Their editors
periscope
give
you.
me,
Dude,
like,
I
7
think that's
clips. Boom, boom, boom,
fantastic.
boom, boom, boom.
Do you guys see what happened here? The Gunners way too slow. John Ryan
They
should
need
be
to step
pissed.
up to John Ryan's level.
Because last year he was booming them like 55.
Dude, they were
a couple times he
crazy.
outkicked, and he did that a few times in the preseason.
One in the preseason,
Oh,
yes.
with like 61,
Yes,
and I kinda-
dude, it was
I got
amazing.
a little excited.
Yeah, I was
good.
there
Wow.
at that one. It was a good.
We've devolved enough that Aaron's texting.
I'm still trying to get.
No, I'm tweeting.
He's trying to find an Uber.
I'm
No,
I'm
but
still
don't-
desperate
stupid.
to get
Internet's not working.
John and Sarah to a Sounders game.
We should.
Let's
man.
do it.
I'm working on it.
Get him. Get him. in
I also
GA.
got to drag Facito back from.
Yeah, that needs to happen
Bethesda.
too.
Yeah.
Oh, live question from Lisa.
Lisa has an important question.
Bookworm Lisa.
with Lisa.
Probably
M&Ms,
related to
Skittles,
Snapchat.
peanut butter M&Ms, or something else.
Wait, you have to choose?
Jesus.
Oh my goodness.
For
Wow.
what? Like in your Blizzard?
No.
I gave the only proper answer.
M&Ms, Skittles, peanut butter M&Ms, or something else.
Something else.
Peanut butter M&Ms is winning currently.
I'm gonna go with peanut butter and M&Ms.
And I'm not a big.
I mean,
I mean, they
If it was
melt
peanut
real
M&Ms.
I've
fast.
never, peanut maybe, but I've never been a big
the
M&M
peanut butter
fan.
M's. Are,
I gotta
are
tell you
pretty
though,
good.
peanut butter M&Ms
They're pretty good.
in like a Blizzard type thing.
Yes.
Unlike
yes.
regular M&Ms, which become like I don't know.
Have you had
rocks.
the blizzards that have the whole filling inside?
Yeah. Core? What? Not core. What is it? Royal.
Core. No, it is
No,
called Royal. Royal.
Royal.
Yeah.
Core is Ben and Jerry's.
Yes.
I think. Yeah.
Which are amazing too.
Royal.
Royal.
Do
was
you
the
like that
best.
they have to serve them upside down officially now?
Yes. Otherwise, you don't.
It's pretty
I
fantastic.
got in trouble when I did that when I worked there, but then again, when I worked there, I was younger than Brett. That's when I worked
Wow.
at Dairy Queen. Did about 2.5 years at the Decoy.
We'll always have the DQ.
Wow.
Who can tell me what movie that's
DQ.
from?
What? What?
Who can tell me what that's from?
I
No.
cannot. I cannot.
Can anybody know? Nobody. You would probably know what it is.
So anyway,
Who can? Yeah. What?
Waiting for Guffman. Has anybody
On
here seen,
other
have something to say?
anybody here
stuff.
seen Waiting for Guffman?
If you
No.
follow Tom Biro on any form of social media, go back through his links yesterday, and Tom posted, reposted a link
reposted. Yeah.
to an email that he sent at like 3:30 in the morning on September 12th, 2001, because Tom had the misfortune, going to be word choosy for a little bit, the misfortune of being about a block and a half away from the World Trade Center.
In
Oh,
the
I
World
didn't
Trade
see- I didn't
Center
read your- I didn't
at
read
the
it yet.
beginning.
Like, yeah,
Yeah.
like he,
Hold
But I
on,
worked
hold
a
on.
few blocks away.
that's where he got out of his subway. In
I
the
came
morning.
out of the North Tower after it had been hit by a plane.
So,
This was
I would
yesterday?
love Tom
No,
to
on
repost
9/11.
that with
Oh yeah, put one to post it. Yeah.
better formatting.
yeah, it was
If
like,
you could
it was
translate that to-
fine. I'm actually going to repost it to my own blog, which I
Okay.
think I'm going to restart, and then you'll actually be able to read it.
Everyone should love.
Yeah, good times. Not really.
But it was it was an interesting firsthand experience from somebody that I know, and
I haven't read it yet, I will.
Was a good reminder to read yesterday about
Found it.
all those conversations that I had with friends of mine that I had friends in the Pentagon,
Yeah.
or near the Pentagon, or people from Fort Meade who would wind up
Barista Net?
depending on once in a while. Friends that lived in New York City at the time. Family that lives right across the river because Tom and my family basically grew up in the same part of Jersey. So it was good. It was a great read, particularly on that day.
It was very stream of consciousness, but it was like I had gotten 100 emails and texts and stuff.
And that
People
was
were
back
like,
when 100 emails was
a
huge.
lot, and I was like, I can't write this anymore.
Right.
Like
So,
I'm just gonna
yeah,
write it
but-
once
and here
here
it
CC
is.
everyone. Like,
Yeah.
here. So yeah, interesting.
I'll report on it next week after I read it.
No need to report on it, but
Not to you. I mean, I'll reach out to you.
yeah,
That's what
I
meant.
hate to be like, it's not about being trite or anything, but I've had enough people like ask me, like, oh, you work there? That's crazy, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I don't know. It's not that I don't want to talk about it. I'm just like, just read this. It'll be easier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Read this, and then if you still want to talk,
Then
we can
we'll
have
talk
a different.
about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's we'll
So-
have,
But
we'll
it's a
have
good-
a beer and talk then. How's that?
We can do that.
I,
Done.
Okay.
The good news, because we're on a podcast, I can use these words. Oh, we're on a vlog. That's right, because it's video.
Wow,
I hate you.
Mark with the hard hits over here.
This is what I sent Tom as soon as as soon as I read it. So 2 comments about your 9/11 experience. Holy fuck! Also, Barista Net, because that's the website that it was on.
Yeah,
And somehow it still exists. Not a lot of websites like what he shared it on have made it 12 years.
No, been around a long time.
So-
and it was like a hyper-local site before that was like the thing to do. And 3 pretty big towns about 12 miles west of New York City. And as the trains go, east and west, really good spot to live if you work in New York. So like Stephen Colbert lives, or at that point
Is
lived
that
in
Wood
the area.
County or Orange?
That is not.
Same?
It's Essex, and the next one is going to escape me right now. Anyway,
So
but it's-
closer than.
Oh yeah, very
Wood
close.
North.
Yeah. And but a lot of media, actually, a lot of talent, people you see on the news, and working for media or writing, like just journalists, live in that area. So it was just kind of a funny thing, and actually started by someone that works at AP, and his wife and another couple had started this hyperlocal site sort of before it was like the thing to do, and coffee is the thing, and that's where the barista thing came into it. And it was kind of like, your thing to read while you're drinking a coffee.
That's
so
nice. I like that.
total random thing, but
There you go.
anyway, thanks.
Cool.
For
I'll read it definitely.
Yeah.
So Colin has a question about the Sounders. If we don't, we can go back there.
Let's go.
So
Colin the Lamont or
Colin
Colin my
Lamont.
brother?
Colin Lamont.
Okay.
Roster freeze is Thursday. Any changes by then? I'm assuming no. He said he logged in late, so we haven't really talked about if there's any changes for the roster freeze. I mean, I'd say given my thought is no, but
I think maybe because of Dempsey, man.
But-
Dempsey's the only wild card I think you have.
Yeah.
It has to be a player that is on a free
Right.
and was free as of August
Who is?
8th or 9th. If
You can't-
they're bringing a player in,
Oh.
it has to be a player
I
that
know
was
what-
free
Speaking of
when the transfer
freeze
window
that we haven't
closed.
talked about.
But you couldn't bring in like a S2 player that doesn't have an MLS contract.
That was the other
Yeah.
aspect. If it's within their own organization, they can promote.
Got
so
it.
the
Okay.
S2 players that they have the rights to, they could
do
bring
we have
up.
any roster spots other than
And the
Dempsey?
Darwin?
academy players, they have roster spots. They,
Okay.
if they
I
wanna
think
make a move, they
though,
can make it.
like if you know Wednesday that Deuce is out for another
A
few
month?
weeks, like
Yeah.
for sure. I don't know.
But Darwin's already on the roster.
Right.
Victor's already on
So you
the
probably
roster.
got the players from your own
Like,
club.
of the
you
best
need,
S2
right?
players that we're talking
You have
about
them right now already, right?
that aren't on an MLS contract, you're talking
Jordan?
Schweitzer,
Right.
Mathers,
And
Tolo, and Ojong, but they're both 19.
Yeah.
Alfaro, is he on a
He's
No,
already
he's
on
on
an
a
MLS
contract.
contract. Maybe Erwin Para.
No, they have to look elsewhere.
So basically,
it's not. It's a push. It's like not
You
an
know,
improvement. It's like
that's not really a change.
So we're gonna
That's not
say
really
no.
a change. So
No. No.
because I think that if there was a free out there that could help them, they would have done it already.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because even if it meant that they were only in as a sub for the last 10 minutes,
Yeah.
that would have helped. So they don't have it. I don't expect it. I think there might be not a signing with the MLS roster in order, but there might be some. If they do make a move, it'll be something along the lines of an academy player or former academy player that's signed just to get the rights established early.
No.
Speaking of like Donovan coming back, Landy Cakes. Good Lord.
Yeah.
Landy
So,
Cakes.
All I have to say.
There won't be something that changes the rot.
Okay.
That won't change
I agree.
the
You're right.
fortunes
You
of
would have
this
done it
year.
already.
If,
Yeah.
if they do anything,
Yeah.
it'll be
Yeah.
a minor move for a player that, might be caught in some kind of academic quirk.
Yeah.
Or, basically that.
So let's call it now. What are we at? September 12th? What do we have left?
4 home
seven?
games, 6 total,
7
I think
games?
is.
Not 4 home games. No way.
There's 4 home games.
No.
No.
Yeah, we have
I was
we have
reading off of Alan
Vancouver,
Hinton's Twitter.
Chicago,
Houston, and
Houston,
RSL.
and RSL.
Wait, do you have 4 left?
Yeah. So do we have
Wow.
6 games or 7 games?
Are you using that super awesome Sounders FC?
6 or
Yeah.
7.
I don't know.
We have a Dallas away,
Vancouver. away.
Vancouver away, and
Dallas,
LA
Vancouver,
away.
LA. That's it.
So
Yep.
seven.
That's it. So 7 games. So 7 games right now,
Wow.
making the playoffs or not?
No,
No. Sure.
I don't think so.
Dave Clark.
I
They're
don't think we
not
are.
making the playoffs.
Yeah, I don't think we are.
I'm gonna go
And I'm
yes.
gonna go-
I'm gonna go against the current and say yes.
We're 6 points
I don't know
out.
how, but yes.
We're 6 points out with 2 games in hand, right? Quote unquote.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say they're making the playoffs.
I am too.
Just to spite everybody.
Those
I want them to. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I think
course.
if they'd
It's
won
clear.
one of at Portland and at San Jose,
Yes.
I would have been
For
fully
certain.
confident.
Yes,
Yeah.
100%.
If they had won
1000%.
this weekend,
Ugh.
everybody probably be on that train.
Oh,
Yeah.
But I think they needed at least 3 points in those 2 games.
Yeah.
1 point doesn't do it.
So
for my
here's
confidence level.
a follow on to that. How awesome is it if none of the Cascadia teams make the playoffs for the league? Not awesome.
How
Oh, yeah,
awesome
not good.
is it for the league if neither of their MLS Cup finalists
Champions.
from the year previous
Make the playoffs.
Make the
make the
playoffs.
playoffs? Because Columbus isn't making the playoffs.
Yeah.
There's no way they are now. They're going to have their worst season in their history.
And Timbers are what?
They're
Couple
the 6th
clear
seed
of
right
yeah.
now.
Yeah, they're the 6
Couple
right now.
clear of
Yeah, 2
Well,
points.
San Jose,
but
right?
yeah, but
Vancouver?
Vancouver's tighter,
Yeah.
and they play them. And Portland has 3 CCL games left.
2.
2.
Oh.
No, 2
They're
road.
gonna,
They have 3. They've only played.
CCL.
They've
man.
only played 1.
Yeah.
They have 3 CCL
Wow.
They're gonna
games
tank CCL.
in there. That's part of why they have why there are games in hand behind them.
Mm-hmm.
So San Jose has the game, and Seattle both have the games in hand. Vancouver has the game against Portland.
That's brutal for the league.
There's
I
a
think.
chance that neither of their cup
Totally.
finalists are in it. And powerful
Goes to
soccer
show how
markets,
crap
Dallas,
shoots.
and Colorado.
Right? Dallas, and then out of the East,
Oh, but
someone.
But at least in the East, like the top,
Dude, New
the
York
top
City
3
FC
teams in the
has
East are Toronto
become
and the
decent.
2 New York teams.
New York City FC has
I can
become
tell you-
From a
decent.
commissioner's standpoint, you're pretty happy.
Oh, yeah.
Well, especially if you get Javinko in the playoffs. Like,
Yeah.
Jesus.
Or Frank Lampard and Davi Villa.
Yeah.
I don't. I fear the ratings if NYCFC goes far in the playoffs.
Oh, good lord.
That'll be great.
Oh, it'd be insane.
Yeah.
It'd be absolutely insane.
And
And then they could just keep
Villa
playing at
is-
Yankee Stadium forever.
Villa's an MVP. He and Giovinco are. At one point, I thought they were the clear 1 and 2. I think the MVP race has expanded a little bit. You could make a case for Gio dos Santos.
Yeah.
Dude, that damn. You know what I think
You know
about?
who's going to win this
Sasha
freaking MVP? Come on,
Phil
be honest.
Haber.
Landy Cakes.
Donovan.
Donovan.
Who's the other one over there? Oh, and Bradley Wright Phillips. Sasha Kleisen.
By the way, see that goal? Did you watch that game
Which one?
yesterday?
No, I didn't.
You didn't watch that game.
No.
I watched the first part of it.
The
and I was like, this is
DC Red
stupid.
Bulls game yesterday.
Oh, no, I didn't watch that one at
So
all.
they flashed this stat, like the stat of all stats to never flash ever. Red Bulls are 48-0 at Red Bull Arena when leading by 2 at any point during a game. And you're like, oh, okay. How'd that go?
Somebody
Not well.
Somebody retweeted into my lineup, into my timeline. It was one of the DC supporter groups. It was Lamar Nagel scores with his balls. He scores with his balls. Lamar Nagel scores with his balls.
So
Which is great. I mean, supporter groups have been singing that for
Yeah.
ever. Whenever a player does it, it's one of their faves.
But man, BWP, really nice goal. Probably a miss by the keeper, but dude is scary.
those top 3 teams, I can enjoy watching them.
I don't want to watch them play Colorado.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan of Dallas.
Dallas at
post
least has a couple
Castillo.
kids.
Without Castillo. Yeah.
If they still had Castillo, I'd be like, yeah, support Shield's yours. But
God, dude.
they play the Open Cup tomorrow night.
Oh yeah.
That's right.
With
How do you
the
think
best
that's gonna go?
referee ever.
I feel like without Mark here, you guys should be talking about like your favorite part of Mark.
We had
His
the
hair.
part of Mark. He wasn't here.
So we're running a little long.
Yeah, we're almost done. One last question though. Back
Wait,
to
this
you.
isn't long?
You
Oh, it
winners
is.
over there. You playoff folks over there.
Yeah, yeah.
L.A., Vancouver, and
You're welcome.
Dallas away. Are you winning any of those?
Yeah, 2.
Which two?
Vancouver, L.A.
Vancouver and LA.
Okay. And then for the home games, you've got
Vancouver.
Vancouver, Chicago, Houston, and Real, which really you could win all 4 of them technically.
Yeah.
How many
If
of
they're
those?
making the playoffs, they're
3.
getting 10 points
I am
from that.
super excited to play Chicago at home.
Me too.
Yeah.
Yes.
And Houston.
yes.
Oh, I might
Also-
need GA tickets for that night, by the way.
Yeah, we'll work on that.
Okay.
I know a guy.
So you got to get
Okay.
10 points from
Um,
those home games.
We will. Easy.
It's my daughter's birthday.
Because
so
the
I
make the
only one
playoffs?
that we'll lose to is RSL at the end.
That's
Let's-
going to be
let's
tight.
not
But
lose that
RSL, RSL is so good right now.
That's what I'm saying.
So the home matches, I'm not as concerned about.
Except RSL.
So you're talking 9, 10, or 12 from the home matches.
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah, okay. And then,
Well, I think you have to do that.
And,
We have to
and
get-
then from the away, you've got 9 points total, and you're thinking you're going to get 6.
Yeah, you know what? If they get 15
I think if
in
you
the
get
last 7,
4,
they're going to make the
make the
playoffs.
playoffs.
Yeah.
And even if you get 4, you're
14
still
in the
close.
last 7 is still the playoffs.
Yeah.
Probably.
Okay. All right.
It's no longer in their own
I
hands,
just,
though.
man.
Yeah, that right.
Right.
Then you need other people to play. Yes, certain ways. That's right.
That's
And everything's
part of
been
what
going
that San
our way
Jose and
lately.
Portland thing.
Lately's been going our
That's
way.
what the 1 point against San Jose and Portland.
Yeah.
That's what it did.
Yeah.
Is it
Well, and
took
I-
away control?
I think watching the way last season shook out and like Portland's way into and through the playoffs, nothing is off the table at this point.
If they make the playoffs and Clinton Dempsey is back,
And Oba signs this Thursday.
no, we don't need to talk unrealistic. I'm quite serious.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
if
I
they
was
make
too,
the
though.
playoffs
And Dempsey's back.
and Dempsey's
Full
back,
health.
we saw how good they are.
Yeah.
That's a team
They look
that can make
scary.
a playoff run.
Yes.
Oh God, yeah.
But the
Okay.
challenge is they go from scary
To nothing.
Yeah, true. Like if Dempsey or Ladero goes down,
Oh my
They're
God!
not
Don't
scary.
say that about Nico.
he's. I mean,
Any last
we
comments?
never want to be in a
Anybody?
position where we're counting on one player again.
Hey, what's
Yeah.
your
Still there.
what's your favorite Pokemon?
No.
My favorite Pokemon?
Yeah.
Pikachu,
Nice.
for obvious reasons.
Mine's Doctor
Lightning.
Strange.
Lightning. It's Lightning Pokemon.
I don't
What's
play
obvious?
That's not even a
I don't know, it's
Pokemon.
I know, but I play Marvel Champions.
Why do you like Benedict
game-
Cumberbatch so much?
Because his name makes me think of cucumbers.
I like cucumbers in my
Pepinos?
water.
Yeah, with limon y chile.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Yeah.
We know where we're
we didn't
going
have that
after
on.
this.
We didn't have that on
We
Saturday.
should have. You're
Anyway,
right.
we
Barky,
just
next year. I'll
digressed.
bring that
Oh,
next
next
year.
game night.
Hick-
Next
Mark,
game night.
I'm bringing
The next-
Hickam.
Mark, I think the show's over.
You know what we're
Barbecue.
doing on the next game?
Hey, the
What?
show's gonna be
Making
over.
you roll a damn
Okay, we're gonna
D&D
be over.
character.
Okay, we're gonna wrap.
So-
Fade to black. Bye, guys.
Fade to
Thank-
black.
Oh, wait. Next week, Casey Catherwood is joining us. Casey Catherwood is the director of marketing at the Tacoma Stars.
The man behind.
So he is the man.
Is he
He
gonna
is the-
roll up in the Perry Peanut?
I have not
He doesn't
communicated
do it
yet.
in the costume.
I know, but
no, but
he
that
could.
we are going to start the
We're
discussion
discussions.
tonight about
Negotiations.
the visitors.
I kinda want the
external
Starman.
visitors. Starman's pretty cool too.
They're all gonna get set on fire. They're gonna be like, guys, mandatory
Guys,
inside show.
It's almost time for the Stars to start. I'm excited about that. I'm not gonna lie. I'm excited about the Stars season. So, but
Did you
that's
see what
next
happened
week.
with their coach, by the way?
Oh, that
Darren?
guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's okay.
It's just the national team coach for Guam right now.
Yeah. I know. I love that. Where'd that come from? Because that was like out of the blue. At least from my.
That was literally the last thing he would have said to us that
Yeah.
night
Oh, I
if
know,
we had
yeah.
asked him that specific question. Which national team would you end up coaching in the next month? He'd be like, let me name 191 other
Here we go.
nations.
Let's see. Can you name one player for Guam?
Darren Swatchke.
That's the coach.
Oh damn it.
Terry
There
Boss.
is a former sound
Terry Boss.
Oh, Terry Boss.
former keeper, but not Terry Boss.
Oh,
he was here for SonarFeed,
No.
the FIFA tournament.
No.
No, not him.
I don't know.
All right.
You mean Josh Ford? Is that what you're thinking
Doug
of?
Herrick,
Oh, Doug
Doug
Herrick.
Herrick.
Okay, nice.
who also has a really cool travel blog as he's hiking in Kyrgyzstan right now.
Oh, wow.
You should read that.
Spell Kyrgyzstan.
Can you name one other player for Guam? I'm going to give you a hint. He's a part-time center back, right back for the LA Galaxy.
Center back, right? What? I don't
He's
know.
Guam's best player. He's a starter for the LA Galaxy.
I don't know.
Who plays back there? Daniel Stairs?
AJ De La Garza.
Oh, Daniel
Oh my
Garza.
God!
Really?
Did you
Oh,
know that?
wow.
I didn't know that. Oh.
Yeah.
So anyway,
Why do you like the
Casey
Galaxy so
Catherwood
much?
Next week, Tacoma Stars.
Excellent.
We're gonna have a good time.
Rock and roll.
And then I'm getting the ball rolling. For those of you watching still, we have a couple of discussions of players who want to join us still before the end of the year, and a coach who mentioned us.
And a
We need to
teacher of the
work
year,
on
maybe.
this. And yes, the teacher of the year. The discussions have already started. He has agreed to attend another local show first, and then he'll be joining us.
He has serious
So
demands, though, right?
He does. Yes,
Yeah.
with
It's
school
going
and
to
everything.
fit you in between his visits
Yes.
with presidents, CEOs,
And
and
Bill
And
Gates.
that's exactly
Mark X.
That's exactly how I how I offered the opportunity for him to come on the show. I said,
Bring
I know
Bill
we're
Gates.
not Bill Gates or Barack Obama, but would you join us? So, and he laughed. He said, "Of course, I would love to. I've been waiting for you to ask me." So
I think it would be fantastic.
that will be
I
one
can't
of my
wait.
favorite.
I'm
shows
excited.
ever.
I
Yeah,
met
so.
him for the first time at YakCon.
Oh,
this year.
Yakon, yeah.
Yakon.
And he's like, cool shoes. I was like, thanks.
Oh, I need to
bro.
ask if are they doing Yakon again this year? Do you know? Have you heard anything?
I don't know.
Okay, we need to find that out.
Yeah.
We
I miss you guys. Let's do this again.
We should do it
Yeah,
again real
man,
soon.
this was
Yeah.
dope.
Yeah,
Glad it
it was good.
You wanna do it
Thanks.
next Monday?
Yeah.
Thanks for
So,
coming.
Let's absolutely.
Let's do it.
You know,
As
thank you for
I'm
coming.
wearing my shirt today.
That reminds
My
me.
squad shirt. My Toy
Badass.
Story
Squad
shirt
goals.
Squad.
because of you guys. We're back. The
Wow.
squad's back.
Let's go. Let's go. Bam.
Because I've been
bam,
feeling like shit,
bam,
and it's
bam.
nice to have everybody back together. So there we go.
glad I sat.
It was the
next to
only
you.
shirt that was clean.
Also true.
Actually, they're all clean. Actually, I did my laundry yesterday. I do.
Oh.
Yeah, because I'm unemployed.
Okay.
Other than my driving.
So anyway,
Okay. On that note, let's go home.
Yeah.
bye guys.
Bye.
Later, guys.
Later.
Peace
Later.
out. Deuces.
Wonka out.
Deuces.
Shut it
Oh,
down.
yeah.